Drives in from the 2. Touchdown, Ferguson.
Shout out to Jim Russell.
Christian McCaffrey over 200 yards of offense, and the Niners win it 20-10 here at home.
SDFC ends the regular season with emphasis.
San Diego FC, Final City Football Club, 4 goals in Portland.
The Aztecs swing back into action after the bye week.
The San Diego Padres have called future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols with interest in interviewing him for the team's manager position. My first thought, that's the guy. One, he brings immediate credibility. Manny and Tatis, they have no choice but to look up to Albert Pujols. He'll walk in there with credentials that all the other guys that are on this list don't even have. They're not even sniffing these credentials.
It just got interesting.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? We are back. The band is back together. I don't think we've had John and Jim on a show in 10 days. So, unfortunately, we're back. If you've enjoyed not having us together, well, we're back.
A lot has happened.
First of all, I need to say this. You sound awful.
Thank you.
Okay, so you've been taught. Now, I thought, because you were out sick for a couple of days, and I saw you when I came in, I'm like, you're fine. I'm looking at you, you're like eating chips and your sandwiches like you always are. I'm like, you're 100% fine. And then I heard you speak, and you're like coughing up phlegm, and like everything is like stuck in your throat.
Yeah.
Pause.
Ew.
But I mean, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Do you think today, if you had to do a solo show, you would be able to do it?
Yeah, I think I could. It would sound awful.
Yeah, I can hear that in your voice right now. Like it's just not.
It's not there yet. Like it's not. So last week, Thursday, I'm like, oh no. And Brent was like, dude, you're done. And I tried my hardest.
It's a good week. Now it's fine to take a couple of days off. It's not like the Padres manager changed hands and the GM's future's in doubt. They're managing and they're going to interview Albert Pujols for their manager.
Yeah,
it's a fine week to just take off.
Yeah, their manager quit, and there's reports of turmoil once again in the front office between Grupner and Preller. It's fine.
You all know the story.
Pujols might be the next manager of the Padres.
Yeah, Dodgers are in the World Series.
It's
again. It's not a big deal.
No, not a big deal at all.
So it's a perfect couple of days just to enjoy at home.
Yeah, SDFC's the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Yeah, it's fine. It's felt like forever. We were talking about this before the show. The last show that we did together was...
Were the Padres in the playoffs? No, they weren't.
I don't remember.
Schilt was the manager.
Was
he?
He was.
When did he bail?
Because he quit on Monday.
Oh, yeah, I did that solo show.
Yeah. And I was like, what? I was in Philadelphia.
Oh, must be nice.
Well, you were just in Philadelphia.
Must be nice.
So we were both in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots happened. And now here we are. A week after he got, he retired, quote unquote. Now it's like, well, Albert Pujols, come on down.
Let's start here, man. We'll get into the latest with the Padres. We have a loaded show.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, congratulations to SDFC. Of course, you've heard the matches all year long here on San Diego Sports 760. The fact that SDFC won the Western Conference in their debut season, doing things that no club in the history of Major League Soccer had done from an expansion perspective. And now it's about more than just being like an expansion club that's done things that no other expansion club has done. Now it's like, can you win an MLS Cup in year number 1? But like it starts there. They won. They got the right results over the weekend. They wrap up the number 1 seed, Jim. They'll host game 1 of the best of 3 series coming up this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. We'll have Darren Smith on the show. Tyler Heaps, their GM, is going to join us at 2:30. We'll talk more about it, but what an amazing accomplishment. Like, again, it's one thing to be there at the midway point. It's another thing to do it all year long. And that's what they did.
Yeah, they started out strong. They finished strong. And I thought one of the coolest moments from this past weekend was after the match, they don't know if they have the 1 seed secured or not.
Right.
So they're watching the game like on a telephone.
Yeah, they're like, does anyone have Apple TV? Did you hear that?
Like, hey, can you come pass me your phone?
TV?
Like, I got to see what's going on in this Vancouver game. And when they find out that Vancouver loses and SDFC secured the top spot in the Western Conference and the celebration that came after that, I thought that was one of the coolest moments of their year. And they've had just a bunch of just amazing moments. And they've had new players come in and they've had players come in and show out. And they've had constants throughout the year, like Anders Dreyer and Anibal Godoy. Like, they have been a team this year that has been just incredibly fun to watch. And now they go into the postseason as the number 1 seed. It's without question. There's no doubt here. Like this is a fact. This is the best regular season for an expansion team in the history of MLS, period. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now the question is, can they have the best season in general from an expansion club, and can they win the MLS Cup in year number 1? So yeah, we'll talk to Darren Smith about it at 3 p.m. Tyler Heaps, their GM, will join us coming up at 2:30. All right. So like as the Padres saga turns, because I'm trying to think about where you even start.
Yeah.
Because I did a show on Monday where we talked about Mike Schill, and my whole takeaway was there's way more to the story.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Of course, there was way more to the story. And even on Monday, I didn't know there was more to the story, but I knew there was more to the story.
There's always more to the story.
Then later in the week, we learned that, first of all, Preller's future is uncertain, even from his own words. When he spoke to the media about Mike Schill no longer being the manager, this remains a little bit of a cloud over the organization. Like AJ Preller's in charge, right? I mean, they're interviewing managerial candidates as soon as this week. We believe that it'll be Albert Pujols among those that are interviewed as early as Wednesday of this week. AJ Preller is presumably leading that operation, but we still haven't seen any contract extension. We believe maybe it's coming, but then again, we believe that Mike Schilt was going to be back. So until we know more on Preller, it's like there's a lot of balls in the air, whether it's Preller's future, is he going to get that extension? Who's the next manager of the Padres? What direction are they going this offseason with free agency and beyond? But doesn't it feel like there's so many questions? I didn't necessarily expect this coming out of the year. I thought Schilt was back. I thought Preller was back. Now Schilt's not back. Preller's back? Question mark, right?
Who's interviewing these managers? Like, who's interviewing these candidates? Is it just Preller?
No.
Or
way.
is it Grupner and Preller? Or is it John Seidler, Grupner and Preller? Or is it just Grupner? Like, who is interviewing these managerial candidates starting, I guess, on Wednesday with Albert Pujols?
Did you read, but because we're catching up on air. Did you read what Dennis wrote last week, which was that Preller was overruled in the last managerial decision, that he wanted Flaherty, and because it was groupthink with Seidler and Grupner, they went with Schilt, and it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out
to an extent.
Right.
But like, I'm going back, the last search wasn't solely Preller, so certainly the next search isn't going to be solely Preller's
And I mean,
decision.
you could say it worked out, but like, did it work out?
It worked out
because he quit.
It's a
and everyone
point.
hated the guy.
What do you mean by everyone? Us?
Well, not us. I meant like in the organization. I know everybody's a generalization, but like a lot of people didn't like Mike Schilt.
Fair, but the 90, like this talking points that we would sell fans on, like the 90 wins, the playoff bursts,
and they failed miserably in the postseason.
True. But would you give him a passing grade for his stint in San Diego?
I'm arguing over semantics here.
Yeah.
I'm over in the time. I get it.
And
but
I think that it's a lot like when Melvin left. It's like, screw Melvin. And now that Schilt left, it's like, screw Schilt. Now we said that while he was managing.
I said that last week too. I was like, we were like one of the first shows where like, this guy is just, not only is he a weirdo, but I don't like him.
Here's the thing. Is it a loss? We'll see what happens in 2026 and beyond. I would say this, and I know you said it briefly before you died this past week, and we're like dealing with whatever.
Yeah, it was bad.
I would say this about Albert Pujols, because I haven't been on the air since we heard this news. Don't interview anyone else. If he wants the job, offer him the job, and here is why. He offers something that no one else previously had offered players like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. It's immediate day one credibility, obviously, the second you walk in the door because of his career accomplishments. Very few players in the history of the game have had a career that Albert Pujols has had, but Johnny hasn't managed. Doesn't matter. You've got these large staffs now. There's no double switches in the National League. It's all about credibility. It's all about what he represents to the organization. If he wants the job, offer it to him the day he interviews and say, here are the terms. That's how I look at it. I'm sure there's other candidates. There's going to be more quote unquote qualified managerial candidates. If Albert Pujols wants the job, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't offer him the job.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. I said it today on social media.
You said it on social media.
Extend Preller, hire Pujols to be their manager. It's not that hard. Get it done.
Right.
And
honestly, it's not that hard.
It's look, are you going to find anybody out there with better, I guess, playing credentials than Albert Pujols? The answer is no.
Unless Barry Bonds wants the job, no.
Now, they're not, signing or making Albert Pujols their DH next year.
They should.
Maybe player managers in the future. But when you look at the landscape of baseball and how many teams hire former baseball players to be their manager, which is a lot, right? Albert Pujols might be, if you look around baseball,
The history of the sport.
maybe the history of the sport. Has the best credentials of any manager in the history of the sport. Just on the field. Unless
there's a name or two.
Did Hank Aaron ever manage a team? Did Babe Ruth ever manage a team?
Frank Robinson did. Ryan Sandberg did.
Albert Pujols has better credentials than both those guys.
Yeah. I mean, Frank Robinson, you go back, but yeah.
So Albert Pujols, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe even 100%.
Yeah,
potentially.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
Years.
Yeah, well,
a lot of years.
There's a lot of years. You're right. I just think that it would be a no doubter of a hire. It makes too much sense. If Albert Pujols is available and he wants it, like you said, you give him the opportunity to be the manager.
If he wants the job, I've got the terms of the agreement on hand the day that he interviews. I'm not kidding, because here's the thing. He may be able to interview elsewhere, and we know he's not going to interview, for example, with the Angels.
Which is the biggest piece of this puzzle as to why today I'm like, get it done.
Yeah, get it done. Here's the thing. I do believe the Padres among the vacancies, obviously it's a better job than some of these, like the Rockies and the Twins. Now, there's some good jobs out there, right? There's some teams that have potential, just like the Padres have potential. But when you look at it and you take the step back, Padres is a good job in terms of the jobs that are available. Pujols, it makes so much sense that you're like, how do they drop the ball on this, right? It makes so much sense. You get the immediate credibility factor. Here's the key to managing today in the big leagues, in my opinion. It's not about making the right move with your bullpen. That's going to be more on the Ruben Nieblers or the pitching coach or group think anyway. It's more about managing personalities, which has been the thing that has always let the Padres down in this Manny Machado era. Albert Pujols will be able to deal with the type A personas that exist in that clubhouse.
Yeah. And the questions that are always asked whenever this team is looking for a new manager, which is every 2 years here, is can they get somebody in here that Manny's going to respect? There's nobody that Manny respects more than Albert Pujols.
No, I think he likes Flaherty.
Okay.
Spent a long time playing with him, right? Has been on the staff here.
Yeah. But to me, if they went Flaherty, and if Pujols is truly interested in this and he wants to be the manager here in San Diego,
and you elected to go with Ryan Flaherty over Albert Pujols,
in the first initial reaction would be, what are you doing? But again, time will tell if it works out. And you always don't have to win the press conference. I understand that.
Sure.
But still, Albert Pujols is available. As I'm choking to death over here.
Not.
My health is not available. I need you to speak. I can't talk.
All right, we're gonna have more on this on the other side. Tyler Heaps, the general manager of SDFC. I can't deal with this. What? Come back tomorrow. We're together for 15 minutes. It's been
we
good.
Tried.
We can keep replaying this segment. Tyler Heaps will join us at 2:30. Chris Hodge, free picks for our listeners at 2:45. Darren Smith at 3 p.m. Chase Fisher, who pledged a $5 million donation to San Diego State's men's basketball, will join us in studio. Will Brinson is on the show. We'll take your calls. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim is back. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Listen for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream. SeaWorld San Diego this year, new horrors awaken, 5 haunted houses, 8 managerial candidates, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies,
Wait, what?
and the thrills of coasters after dark. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now through November 2nd. Halloween fun for the whole family. For a limited time, kids go free with a paid adult ticket. Visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for more information.
Did you have a Ron Burgundy moment? Or you
I was
just
trying to be fun.
or
I
you
feel
threw that in
bad,
there?
dude. I probably shouldn't do that, but
8 managerial candidates. Jeez.
go through the scare zone. Who's in charge of the Padres? Turn left, it's Eric Rubner. Turn right, it's AJ Preller. Go straight, it's John Seidler. Right.
Scary.
All right. Tyler Heaps, GM of SDFC, will join us coming up at 2:30. I'm trying to I always use this term, to put a bow on the last week from a Padres perspective. Because we hit on the Schilt stuff. We know that there's this, he retired, but it wasn't what it seems. We don't know the full impact of what was going on behind the scenes, but clearly wasn't what it seemed.
And we'll
He just
never
retired.
know.
Right. We won't know.
He quit.
The Preller thing is still weird from all the reporting, including Dennis Lynn, which is like, he's probably going to get a contract offer this month, but there is still a question about his future.
And then you got Grupner going on the flagship this morning, refuting everything that Dennis has reported and still not giving like this vote of confidence fully to AJ Preller.
But correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't hear it. But according to Talking Friars, who was like, according to Talking
transcribes
Friars,
everything.
He said something along the lines of Grupner made it clear that they would like to have Preller back beyond 2026.
Yes. And that John Seidler is going to be the one that's going to be taking care of this.
What are they waiting on?
I don't know.
Ended in Chicago too. Like, what has happened since the season ended?
Well,
Mariners and Blue Jays have played 100 games. Shohei Ohtani has hit 100 home runs.
It shouldn't be hard.
Yeah, like there's been a lot of time. You know, in professional sports, this happens in college. In college sports, 9 head coaches at the FBS level have been fired since the Padres season ended.
It's either you know
right
or you don't. And if you know, get it done. And it shouldn't take this long. We shouldn't be getting into after Schilt quit or retired or got fired or whatever you want to say. We shouldn't be still wondering, is AJ Preller going to stick around for longer than next year?
It's a bad look for you. Even forget longer than next year. Is he going to stick around?
That's true.
Now, here's the thing, and Dennis wrote about this. There's no openings. As we see it right now, it's like Colorado. And he even speculated on that. He's like, what do you prefer? I mean, are you serious? Credit Colorado if they somehow swoop in and pull that off.
Oh my gosh.
What would people say? What would people say?
Pitchforks. I do, because look, the perception now is, and it's a little more than perception, right? I know Grupner's denying it to the full extent this morning, but I mean, come on. It's the worst kept secret in this town. You guys don't like each other. All right.
They're not BFFs.
No, you're not BFFs. I've heard some stories are being reported like you guys aren't tight. All right. We all know that. So the perception would be if AJ Preller were to leave the organization, right? And he went to Colorado, let's just say, for hypothetical purposes here. We'll talk about that. So he goes to Colorado.
Would that not be the worst look in the history of anything?
Everyone's going to hate you, Eric. And everyone right now is already saying, we want Preller over Grupner. If we had to choose,
right,
it's not even a close debate here.
But
it's
the thing is,
Preller over Grupner.
And Grupner's now like a part owner.
I know.
With limited equity stakes. So Grupner's not going anywhere. He literally owns the team.
Signed this secret contract extension, either, what was it, last year? Not this past year, but the previous year. Because
that's what Dennis wrote, right?
Yeah, like, what? So
it's a lot going on.
You're signing, secret contract extensions. Schilt's getting contract extensions.
Yeah.
The only person that's not getting contract extensions is AJ Preller. And right now, without AJ Preller, you're not getting the 72 sellouts in a season.
Like I like the bobbleheads too, but let's be honest.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I mean? You're not selling out 72 games with bobbleheads. Let's go to the phones real quick. Tyler Heaps, the GM of SDFC, will join us in about 6 minutes. 877-767-4760. Race wants to weigh in, and Race, appreciate the patience. You're on with John and Jim.
Anyways, guys, not a long take today. Just curious, on your take on Schilt. Not liking him, not thinking he was that great. Why does AJ get all the credit for back-to-back 90-win seasons and Schilt doesn't? I mean, he's had five full season teams, taking them all to the playoffs. And whether or not he's kind of a weird guy doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? And every manager is going to get questioned about calls, taking guys out, bunting. I mean, that happens over the course of a whole season, right? I mean, Dave Roberts was raked over the coals for 7 years or 8 years. And so, why does AJ, he gets credit for all these wins, even though he's spent twice as much as the Padres ever have in their whole history, right? I mean, he's spending over $200 million, which would be easy. He's a top 10 salary team. He should be going to the playoffs every year. So why him all the credit? Why Schilt none of the credit? That's my question.
Can I just say this real quick to Rice?
I've given Schilt credit. I just never liked the guy.
Rice, stay here for 1 second. Here's what I would say. Like, was Joe Torre a better manager with the Yankees, or did he have better players? Because when he managed with the Mets or the Braves, now I'm with you in terms of Schilt. Like, Schilt won with St. Louis.
Yeah.
But like, it's a chicken egg conversation, isn't it? Like, I don't care how good of a manager you are. Would you agree, Rice? Like, you need the pieces in place, and that's where I give Preller the credit for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Bochy got fired from the Padres, won a few World Series with the Giants. So, I mean, it's when it comes to managing, who the heck knows? It's definitely less valuable than like being an NFL coach or something like that. But I was just curious. I mean, you're more on the players, so maybe 65-35, a little more credit to AJ. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I give Schilt, thank you, Rice, for the call, and we'll discuss it throughout the course of the show. I mean, I give Schilt credit for as much flack as he caught from us for the way he dealt with the media. We also credited him for his ability to steer a ship through 90-win seasons with this clubhouse. That's not easy to do.
No, and I've always said I thought Mike Schilt was a really good manager in the regular season. Postseason, not so much. But in the regular season, there's no doubting that he only guides teams to 90-plus win seasons. He was very adamant to let everybody know that, by the way, when he quit.
Yeah.
Like, I only managed 90-win teams. But I've always said he's a good manager. I just didn't like everything that surrounded it. I didn't like his attitude, towards the media, and I didn't like his unbiased like backing of the players no matter what. Just his persona and everything about Mike Schilt I didn't like. As a manager, though, he was a good manager, and you could deal with all the other BS if you win a bunch of games. And that's what Mike Schilt did.
Agreed. And I would have had him back. Jim felt the same way. I think most Padres fans certainly would have been okay with him, more than okay with him coming back, but he made a decision, and now we'll see where they go from here. We'll get back to it later this hour. Tyler Heaps is the GM of SDFC. What a job he, his staff, these players, these coaches, these fans have done. Well, join us on the other side. They've locked up the 1 seed in the Western Conference. Tyler Heaps ahead of the postseason joins us next on John and Jim. the good fortune of being joined by Tyler Heaps, their GM, a number of times over the last year, and he's back with us right now on John and Jim. So, Tyler, first of all, congratulations, and secondly, thank you for taking time for us. I mean, you were named GM in August of 2024 for an expansion franchise. There's no roster. Is this even a part of like your wildest dream? When you're hired into this job, are you thinking, how am I going to put together a team that's going to win the Western Conference? Or did you even envision this as a possibility heading into this job?
Hey guys, thanks for having me again. Always a pleasure to be on. That was not at the top of my mind at that time. I think we had 3 players signed whenever I officially started. I was working behind the scenes and for about 12 months before that with Right to Dream and with the group. But never once did I think, hey, let's go win the Western Conference. That would have been very ambitious and bold of me. I was just trying to figure out how do we get this thing off the ground and start building the pieces to hopefully eventually do this and do it consistently. It's just the success has come really quickly, and that's a credit to everybody in the organization and how much work has went into it these past 10 months.
So this past Saturday night, you needed a couple things to happen in your favor to get the 1 seed. Did you have like the double box up and like watching obviously what's going on with Vancouver and Dallas, and then what's happening in front of you with Portland and San Diego? What was that experience like for you to watch the game in front of you with SDFC, and then watching to see if you can get other results to get the 1 seed, clinched up for the Western Conference?
Yeah, I was fortunate I was out of the rain, so I could have a phone and a computer next to me. I had my assistant sporting director sat next to me, and we had the live alerts on, so we saw when they got a red card, and we were still focused on our game. And the second half made it a little bit easier to start to focus on the other results because of the way that we were playing and the fact that we put our game to bed really, really quickly in the second half. And so, yeah, all kind of the stars aligned. It was a special moment for the club, for the city. It was great that we had so many traveling supporters there too. And then that moment on the field after is one I'll probably remember for a long time. But just getting to celebrate with those guys in the pouring rain, again, credit to them. They put so much work into this. And the fact is that everything kind of aligned for us on the last day. And it's a fantastic end of the regular season. And now it's kind of like, now what? What can we do now in the playoffs? And how do we continue to build this season and make it a special one?
Tyler Heaps, SDFC's general manager, with us right now on John and Jim. I'm glad you went there with the postseason, and maybe this is a dumb question, but in a lot of other professional sports in the U.S., things change in the postseason. Like we'll say in the NBA, this team was the 2 seed all year, but they're not a good matchup for the 7 seed because Golden State's a veteran team, and even though they're the 7 seed, it's going to be tough for the 2 seed. Or in baseball, right? This team's a good matchup or a bad matchup. For your club, now that you're in as the 1 seed, does anything change in terms of putting you in a position to have the same success you just had in the regular season?
I think it's the same in soccer. It's probably more so. The matchups do matter. Right. What we've proven is that we're going to be who we are no matter what. And I think that's our super strength. I think Mikey said that in the post-match, but that is our strength, is that no matter who we play, where we play, we're going to play the same way. That's not the case for everybody in this league. And so I have no doubt in my mind people will try to play us differently. They try to do it during the regular season. I think a lot of teams will sit in. It's why we've struggled to come away with wins at Snapdragon, although the performances have been really good. But teams come here and set up shop and say, okay, good luck beating us. We're going to waste time and we're going to try to chop the game up. And because that's the way that we think we have the best chance. The first round goes straight to penalties after 90 minutes. So I definitely think there's going to be teams that have that on their mind. And so we need to do what we did in this last game. We need to score early on teams. That changes the game picture for us massively. Whenever we score early on teams, they can't waste time anymore and they have to come out a little bit. And whenever teams come out on us, I think we can kill them. And we proved it again in Portland away. So just trying to keep that rhythm, but our approach will be the exact same. But there are matchup issues or problems. I think I'm looking forward to seeing who wins on Wednesday night and who we get on Sunday. But we'll be ready in whatever team that we do face, and just for us about doing what we do and do it at a high level.
What can you say about Mikey Varas and the job that he's done here in year 1 as the manager of this club?
I mean, he's been incredible. Similar to I probably could have never guessed that he would have been this good. I got excited every single time I had a chance to talk to him in the interview process. I think you guys hear how he approaches his media and some of the segments that he does in our social with how he's speaking to the team before or after the game. But he's got a really, really special quality of being able to connect with players in this city and this community. And he's a fantastic coach. I also think that we've built a really special group of coaches around him. And that was something that him and I did together when we built out his staff. And
that really helped our relationship. And we have an unbelievable working relationship. We kind of know what each other are going to say before we even have to talk to each other. And that's been really good to be able to check and challenge each other, because the end of the day, we're both in this for the first time together. I'd never been a sporting director before, and he'd never been a head coach. And I think in this league, and I think that scared some people, but I think what we've proven is that whenever you have a way of doing things and whenever you're confident in each other, great things can happen.
Tyler Heaps, general manager of SDFC, with us right now on John and Jim. Again, the postseason opener is going to be Sunday night, Snapdragon Stadium, opponent TBD, but a 6:30 kickoff for that postseason opener for SDFC. You mentioned the format, the fact that after 90 minutes in the first round, you go right to penalty kicks. This is a best of 3 opening round as well. What do you make of the format? Do you like the format? Would you prefer it look different? What do you make of it?
This is the first time I've been in this league, and I've watched MLS and followed MLS from afar for a long time. It's a bit confusing at first. I think it makes sense. I get both sides of it. Everybody that gets in the playoffs gets a home game, and I think that is important for these clubs. And as we continue to try to build this sport in this country, is to make sure that each home market gets a chance to see their team in a playoff structure. And I think it lends well to us. These single eliminations, not always the best team advances. So I do think a best of 3, it allows hopefully the best teams to try to grind their way out of it. Although, again, game by game, it can differ. And then it goes single elimination after that, and anything can happen. That's why I think in America, we love this sport, and just making sure that we give ourselves the best chances to win. And we got to try to control what we can control and leave as little doubt as possible. The way we play, we should be able to control a lot of these games. It's just about taking our chances and taking them often.
Anders Dreyer's had a fantastic year. 2 more goals this past weekend against Portland. He's played every match for you guys, 19 goals on the year. He's going to be in the MVP discussion this season. He has just been the backbone of your club.
Yeah, he's a tremendous person, and he's an unbelievable competitor. And I think we've put him in positions, and he's taken those every step of the way. The fact that he has been available for all 34 games. He came over without getting an off season too. That's what people don't realize, is that our schedule's different than Europe, and he'd already played 6 months of his season. And so he's going on 18 months here straight. And the fact is, he still shows up day in and day out and trains hard, and is a huge proponent of our group. And then he scores world-class goals like he did on Saturday. And so we need him, and he understands too that we in the way that we play make him better together. And I think he's got 38 goal contributions. So if we can get him over 40 in the playoffs and continue to push forward, but he's been a huge addition, not only on the field but also off the field. And we're looking forward to seeing how he can perform in the playoffs.
Tyler, final one for me is just about the support from the fan base in San Diego in year 1, and what that's meant to the club and the organization, and what you'd want people to know about the importance of what's to come, obviously Sunday night and beyond.
It's incredible. I was fortunate before I signed. I got to go to a couple of Padres games last year, and I could see how much this city does show up for their sports teams. And I was one of those ones going to those early supporter-led meetups, and there were 10 of them there. So the fact is, whenever you get to Portland and you hear them chanting 90 minutes before the game, and we have one individual who's traveled to every single away game, and we gifted him a signed jersey on our team walk. Like, it's a huge sacrifice, and these guys use their hard-earned money to go and support us and travel around and come to the games and Snapdragon, and it's massive. I was a sports fan one day too, and I loved my hometown teams. And so the fact is, now that we can kind of give back, and we're going to need every single one of them. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric on Sunday. I saw some of the videos of the fans celebrating in the streets and down in Chula Vista at the watch parties, and I'm really excited to get out there on Sunday and put together a really good performance and have this group behind us come the playoff time.
Congratulations on all the success to this point. Hopefully it continues, obviously, over the next month or so in the MLS postseason, which will get underway in San Diego Sunday night at 6:30. And if you're looking for tickets, you can find them, limited tickets at least, at sandiegofc.com. Tyler Heaps, GM of SDFC. Tyler, congratulations, and thanks as always for taking time for us.
Thanks, Tyler.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. This kind of storybook season now turns to a new chapter, which is the postseason. We know how postseasons work, right? I mean, you can't really predict them, but it will start Sunday. I kind of like the fact that it's not win or go home to start, because you can have an amazing year, but this is best of 3, so you could still slip up in advance.
Yeah, and they have turned into one of the better road teams in MLS.
And two of these would be at home.
And two of them are at home. So you're kind of like, but, they are still the number one seed. And we have those discussions like, what would you rather have, this or that?
The one.
You want the number one seed. Even though at home, like Tyler said, teams come in, they kind of, you park the bus and they make it difficult, and they want to, muddy up the game, make it ugly. But still, you want the number one seed every single day of the week.
And they've got it. All right, Darren Smith with more on SDFC. He's been on the call all season with more on the Padres saga and drama. He'll join us at 3 p.m. But on the other side, Chris Hodge taking Vegas, not in his normal time. He's normally with us on Thursdays. Jim was out of commission on Thursday.
Yeah, I was sick, John.
You couldn't speak.
I still can't speak.
You never really have been able to speak.
I've never been able to speak.
It's even worse when you're sick.
Correct.
So Chris Hodge gets us ready for Monday Night Football. He'll have free picks for our listeners coming up on the other side. Darren Smith at 3 p.m. Chase Fisher, founder of Blenders, with his contributions to San Diego State men's basketball. He'll join us in studio at 3:30. We've got a ton in store for you from now until 6 p.m. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Chris Hodge, Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. You hear him every weekend on San Diego Sports 760. You hear him every week on John and Jim. He will join us momentarily. Get us ready for Monday Night Football. Two games again, Jim, on Monday Night Football.
This is so stupid.
Are the Seahawks playing on Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
And the Mariners are playing in something called Game 7.
Yeah.
And the Kraken are playing tonight.
Oh,
think about that. If you're just diehard, Seattle born and bred, diehard, you got a lot going on tonight.
Yeah, it's clearly Kraken, Seahawks, Mariners. Like,
I don't know if the Mariners is it a must win? Yeah, you could argue.
It's always next year.
All right, let's catch up with Chris Hodge, who's going to join us twice this week. We weren't able to connect last week because Jim was sick and I wasn't here. Good job, Jim.
I was sick. Yeah.
Chris Hodge, Sports Investors Daily, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. Again, you hear him each and every weekend right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, the last time you were with us 2-0 on free picks, and on your free plays this year on John and Jim, you are 12-6 for our listeners. Now, we got a couple of games tonight. What's your free text pick tonight? And first of all, hope you're doing well, and thanks for hopping on, Chris.
Wait, thank you. Did I caught the end of what you guys were saying. You guys aren't rooting for the Mariners tonight?
We're rooting for the Mariners.
No, we're just saying that there's a lot going on in Seattle tonight, sports-wise. You got the Seahawks, you got the Kraken, and then the Mariners are playing in I think a must-win game tonight. So
can we talk about that for a second? Do you want to talk about this game tonight, Mariners Blue Jays? Just
the way this country's going nowadays, if you sound like a nationalist, you're a bad job. I'm not rooting for anything from Canada. Screw them. I'm rooting for the team, for the country.
We are too.
Seattle,
We're big Mariners fans here.
And plus, Toronto beat the Yankees. The hell with them, man. Who wants to, how to wake up to old Canada on my phone? My wife's a lunatic. Right. Absolutely.
Well
let's go Mariners tonight.
Honestly, if someone can beat the Dodgers, I'm cool with it.
Anybody.
Honestly.
Neither of those teams are beating the Dodgers.
That's the problem.
We know.
All right. Tell us about tonight. Monday Night Football.
All right. So, the game's going off at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock your time. Detroit, Tampa Bay. Act now. We have it on the text line. Just text the word WIN to the number 545454. It's absolutely free. And look, the free picks have been good. It's 12-6 for you guys. It's 66%. Remember, we went on an epic run to end last year. So the free picks have been great. We'd love to give it out to you tonight. Tampa Bay, Detroit, and then obviously you guys were talking about a later game. We don't really have nothing great on that game, but Tampa Bay, Detroit should be a good one. It's free on the text line, so just text the word WIN to the number 545454. We'll hook you guys up with it.
All right, so the NBA starts tomorrow night. Give us some future plays for the NBA this season, if you could.
So again, when I did this with you guys with baseball, we went 2-1, and there's some long shots in here. So, for anyone out there listening, just bet these accordingly because these are not the favorites, within the division. But I think they do create some value. So I'm going to give you one in the East and one in the West. We'll start with the East. I think the Atlanta Hawks, they a lot of people don't realize the additions they made. Porzingis is there now. They got good depth players. They have a good coach over there. And they're plus 175 to win their division. Now, everyone is hot on Orlando, and Orlando was a good young team. But this Atlanta Hawks team last year, they didn't play poorly, and they just had things go wrong at the wrong time for them. And they still were able to win, 41 or 42 games right around there. And they didn't miss that division by much with Orlando. So I'm going to go over 47.5 wins for Atlanta. And I'm going to give you Atlanta to win their division at plus 175. So those are the two for the East. Over to the West. Now, no one is going to like this. Okay, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but that's fine. I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to make a major jump. Remember, Wembanyama only played half the season last year. He had the blood clot in his shoulder, which was unfortunate. Okay, you have to go back to when Kevin Durant played for the Warriors. Okay. For the last time that he played on a team that won their division. Okay, I'm never sold on Houston. I know I get into a fight with those guys down there all the time. I'm not sold on this team. I'm not sold on Kevin Durant. And I think the Spurs at plus 450 offer really good value. Okay, and I believe they're going to win over 44.5 games. So I'm not sold on Houston. Houston is a big favorite to win that division. You also got Dallas and New Orleans in there who are, you got the Kyrie Irving stuff, and New Orleans stinks. Memphis, not really a problem much either. They made a lot of changes. It's going to be between Houston and San Antonio, and I'll take the plus 450 and over 44.5 wins.
All right, so if you want tonight, again, Detroit, Tampa, you can get it absolutely free. Just text the word WIN, WIN, to 545454. That's WIN, WIN, to 545454. Again, Chris Hodge, TakingVegas.com, with us right now. John and Jim, I want to switch back for a moment to baseball because we agree. We think the Dodgers are obviously at this point winning the World Series. It would be very surprising if they didn't. Would you lay whatever the odds are right now? What is it, minus 210 or so for the Dodgers to win the World Series? Is that a worthwhile wager?
I mean, it's interesting. Both Seattle and Toronto plus 400. It's worthwhile because they have to all die for them to lose that World Series. Like, it just is what it is. Their pitching is too good right now. They came together at the right moment. Ohtani's playing. He might have had the greatest single game in the history of baseball a couple nights ago. And they're just too good. And look, they spend the money. They are what they are. But I don't believe anyone from any either of these two teams, forget winning it, I don't think it even goes past 5. I think they do what they did to the Yankees last year. I don't think it's going to be much of a series, whoever they play.
Yeah, we're just in acceptance mode here in San Diego. Like, we just have to accept it and move on with our lives.
So I have a question for you guys, because I'm doing this Bet Big Talk Loud podcast and with the NBA starting tomorrow. So I did want to talk some NBA. Serious question, right? Knowing what we know of both of their careers, if you had to start with either Steph Curry or LeBron James, they both won 4 titles, and you know everything up to this point about both of their careers, who would you start your team with?
Well, Jim is
you're asking the biggest Steph Curry home on the planet.
LeBran fan, no, Steph fan. So
my answer is Steph. My answer is Steph. I'm a diehard Warriors fan, and I'm a Steph lover. So my answer is Steph Curry.
I think if you ask, here's my.
But I have a lot of good things to back that up. It's not just because I love Steph.
But here's what I would say. I think if you ask most sports fans, they would just, because of the name LeBron, they would just say LeBron, because like, it's LeBron James. Like, you can't go wrong by saying LeBron James. But I mean, I don't think you could go wrong by saying Steph Curry either, truthfully.
So I would pick Steph, and this has nothing to do with my severe dislike of LeBron James as a person. I think he's a fantastic basketball player. But I personally, and I've been watching the NBA, even when I was in your studio, we talk about the NBA, I have never seen a person, not Michael, not Magic, not Larry Bird, not anyone, change the game like Steph Curry changed the game. I've never seen that. He changed the game through to the junior high level, like where people are now shooting all of these threes. And I think he has the most dangerous weapon I have ever seen. So I would have picked Steph. I think longevity, obviously LeBron, but I think Steph did more for the NBA in terms of, what he did for his team. And they both have 4 rings. And Steph got those 4 rings in one place. LeBron had to go all over to get his 4 rings. That's the way I feel.
Let me ask you this. Will either of those players play in a conference final again in their career?
I think Steph will. I don't believe LeBron will, especially with the Lakers. And I believe he's going to play after his Laker career, but I think this is his last season with the Lakers. I think he will definitely go ring chasing somewhere next year. He'll put himself in the best spot to win one last ring. I think he's got 2 years left. I think the Golden State Warriors are going to be a problem in the West this year. They were a problem last year, and they would have went a little bit further had Steph not got hurt. And they're getting older, and that happens. But if those guys stay healthy, they're going to be a problem in the West. Jimmy Butler, Steph, obviously, Draymond Green, what he brings, and their youth. I think they're going to be a serious problem. So I actually think the Warriors will play in the Western Conference Finals this season.
All right. Well,
I would like that.
Yeah, Jim would love that. Jim would absolutely love that. If you want tonight's game, again, 2 Monday Night Football games. If you want Detroit and Tampa, all you need to do, you can get it for free. Text the word WIN. WIN to 545454. That's WIN to 545454. Chris is back with us Thursday. We'll talk about Thursday Night Football. He'll give out some free picks for our listeners on the radio as well, and we'll do it again. But we're looking forward to the start of the NBA season, Monday Night Football tonight, and we'll catch up again, Chris, in a couple of days, all right?
All right, thanks, guys. You have a great day out there, all right?
All right, great stuff. Chris Hodge, again, he's been so good for our listeners, 12-6 this year with his free plays right here on San Diego Sports 760.
I like that. His take there.
You like that Steph's better than LeBron and the Warriors are going to win the next 3 titles or whatever he said?
That'd be nice.
That'd be very nice. All right. Darren Smith on the other side with his perspective on SDFC. He's been on the call all year long with Adrian Garcia Marquez. How could anyone have expected this? Like, if I was in Darren's shoes getting ready for the year, you're all excited because you got like this new club that they're in town, but like
I think people would have been just happy, like just finish the season.
Well, no, they're going to finish the year.
I know, but the beginning of my point is it's like the expectations for this club were to build a community, to build a fan base, to build tradition. And all of a sudden they just flew past all those expectations, which weren't that high to begin with, I don't think.
MLSsoccer.com had them 15th in the West.
I know. Last in the Western Conference.
They were wrong.
They were really wrong
because they finished in first.
Yeah, they did.
So Darren Smith, who's been on the call all season long, he's going to offer his perspective on SDFC. And then, of course, we'll turn our attention to the Padres with Darren as well, as he's been covering the Padres for 20 plus years here in San Diego. So Darren Smith on the other side. We'll have an in-studio visit from the founder of Blenders Eyewear, Chase Fisher, will join us at 3:30 p.m. Got a great show for you from now until 6 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Hour 2, John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. SDFC over the weekend secured the number 1 seed in the Western Conference with their win over the Portland Timbers. Their first match of the postseason will be this Sunday night at Snapdragon Stadium, 6:30 kickoff time there. And according to reports today, the Padres are set to interview Albert Pujols for their managerial position on Wednesday. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Some weird stuff in week 7 of the NFL.
Taylor, zigzag move. Taylor works in for the touchdown.
Play fake, boot right, throws it out to the right. Ferguson dives in from the 2. Touchdown, Ferguson.
Shout out to Jim Russell.
Christian McCaffrey over 200 yards of offense, and the Niners win it 20-10 here at home.
SDFC ends the regular season with emphasis.
San Diego FC, Padres City Football Club, 4 goals in Portland.
The Aztecs swing back into action after the bye week.
The San Diego Padres have called future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols with interest in interviewing him for the team's manager position. My first thought, that's the guy. One, he brings immediate credibility. Manny and Tatis, they have no choice but to look up to Albert Pujols. He'll walk in there with credentials that all the other guys that are on this list don't even have. They're not even sniffing these credentials.
It just got interesting.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 2 of John and Jim. That was the full hour. That open was so long.
And we're done.
It's 4 p.m.
It's good
Let's
open.
run it again.
Oh,
It's
now we're
5
done.
p.m.
Show's over.
Darren Smith, who has been on the call all season long for SDFC, is going to join us shortly. I also want his perspective on the Padres. I don't think there's anyone in the city that's covered the Padres longer than Darren, by and large. He's at 20-something years, the day in and day out grind of covering the Padres.
Marty's still around.
No, I like to give Darren the credit. He's Darren joining us right now. If Marty was on, I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah, Marty's around. You're right. She is the way she's still around.
I mean, Coach has covered this team for a while.
Okay, whatever. Don't take the.
There's
wind out of
people
my
in this town that's
sails.
been there for a while, John. Come on, man.
Oh my gosh. Darren, can you help me just in general? Darren Smith, who's been calling SDFC games all season long. Okay, back with us right now, John and Jim. You've heard him all season long on San Diego Sports 760. I don't know if you heard our conversation with Tyler Heaps. I just mentioned a moment ago as well. I went to MLSsoccer.com before the season and I looked at some preseason ranking, and it truly had SDFC 15th in the Western Conference. So you're preparing for this inaugural season. You know you're going to be on the call. Was it in your wildest dreams, something like that? We know that's why we love sports. Things can happen, but was this ever possible?
Winning the West?
Right.
Absolutely not. I mean, I thought they'd be good. I thought they might be better. It's funny that you say that because I looked that up today too. And not only did they have SDFC 15th, they had Vancouver finishing 14th. So I'm not a big let's keep those receipts guy, but that's one. If you're Vancouver and San Diego, you're probably sitting around going, okay, let's just tuck that away. No, I mean, I think who said it really well is midfielder Anibal Godoy, because he was on an expansion team back in 2020 in Nashville. He said the focus in Nashville was, hey, we're just trying to get a team on the field. You're welcome. Here it is. We now have Major League Soccer. So that was how it was presented to the fans in Nashville. They'd waited a long time, and there was the excitement and the novelty of it, but it's going to take a little while to build a winner. And I did hear the conversation with Tyler, who I think is really sharp, and I think you have to give him and Mikey Barras a ton of credit because they came into this with a style and an identity, structure of system of play that they felt like could work in Major League Soccer, and not just to catch people by surprise in the beginning of the season, but they felt like what Tyler was talking about, how they're going to play on the road, is going to be consistent with how they play at home, and that was going to convert to success. So I think they had a really good plan, and then obviously it's clicked with some players. But I thought maybe they would be competitive for a playoff spot, but this is crazy. This is just it's an incredible story to watch this happen and have it come down to the final match of the season made it even better.
So where do you stand with matchups? So we got the Portland Timbers and Salt Lake playing on Wednesday to determine who will go to Snapdragon Stadium on Sunday to play SDFC. Who would you want to face, or who would you want SDFC to face come Sunday night?
Well, you gotta be careful with this.
I know.
Yeah, I think in Portland, it's because then that then becomes one of those. Hey, we've got the receipts. The broadcaster said. But Portland hasn't scored in 2 tries against SDFC, and I do wonder if it wasn't just a beating that they took in Portland over the weekend, if it wasn't even demoralizing. I kept thinking about that watching SDFC pump 3 goals in there in the second half. If it wasn't a little, hey, we might play these guys again next week, so let's make sure that we really give it to them. Like we really, really rub their noses in it a little bit, so that not only do we walk out of here doing what we have to do, picking up the 3 points, so we put ourselves in a position to finish in first in the West, but let's also make sure that we're making a statement to them that they're going to be excited if they get into the playoff, but they're not going to be real excited about who it is that they're going to have to face for at least 2 matches and potentially 3 if it gets to that.
All right, Darren.
I didn't answer the question, by the way. So I don't know that I would just, I guess if you're forcing me, I feel confident against either one of them, but I do appreciate what it was that just happened this past weekend. You not only beat them, but embarrassed them. You had their crowd booing them in their building on what's been a disappointing season. And I can't imagine that group would want to face this team again. But I would say, for SDFC, they probably are willing to take on either one of these 2 teams coming up next Sunday.
I guess I should have asked, who do you think they match up better against? With the matchups, if they were to play Real Salt Lake or they were to play Portland. Okay.
Yeah, I think Portland, just because Portland really has a tough time scoring. They're pretty good at goal prevention, but they're not really good at goal scoring. And I think that's something that San Diego is really, really good at.
Here's my question, Darren, and tell me if it's a dumb question, but this happens in others. It's probably Jim's looking at me like it's a dumb question.
It's a dumb question.
Obviously, with the Padres, we go into an offseason, we're like, the future of their manager and their GM. Will we do the same thing with SDFC? I don't know the contract terms, for example, of Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps. Will their success elicit other, it has to, right? Elicit other potential opportunities for them, or how's this going to work in the offseason?
I would think it does. There's always a bit of, do you become somehow victimized by your own success in that regard? Because, if I were a team and I were a team that was looking for a really creative, innovative type of coach, and I saw what it was that happened with an expansion team in Major League Soccer, and on top of that, I saw a particular style that is really appealing. They play really appealing soccer. They don't just like kicking it around. It's not just possession for the sake of possession. They want to score. They want to be playing with initiative. They want to do all those things to be entertaining as well. It makes him a very attractive candidate. His ability to communicate is second to none. So I think both of them have really, really bright futures, and that's just the way it goes in sports, right? Even in college, we're seeing this sort of stuff all the time. The Indiana coach just got rewarded with a $90 million contract because people were worried he was going to end up heading off to some other bigger program, right? So, you do have to keep in mind that this is sort of the natural progression of the sport. It's going to be part of SDFC's future when it comes to players. Part of why you want to build around academy players is that you're going to get these players through your system and you're going to make them to attractive clubs all around the world. So I hope it doesn't happen too soon. I do think that they're really, really, really good fits here, not just for the whole program, but also for the whole project, but also for the city. But yeah, they're really good. They're really, really good at what they do. And, you would love for them to see at some point somebody go, hey, we would like to take a chance on a player like that, or a coach like that, or a general manager like that at some of the highest levels in the sport around the world. But, I'm going to enjoy them while they're here, and I hope they're going to be here for a little while longer.
Yeah, it's been just an absolutely incredible year for SDFC. Moving over to the Padres here before we let you go here, Darren. Albert Pujols' name has come up. I know you probably talked about it today on Section 1904, but what are your thoughts on potentially having Albert Pujols step in as manager? Me and John think that if he wants the job, bring the paperwork. Don't interview anybody else. He's the guy if he wants the job. What's your take on that?
I don't know that I'd be that ready to put a contract in front of him. Yeah, I do think that there's interesting connections. Not just in terms of nationality with certain guys in the clubhouse, but for a long time, Albert Pujols, his agent was a guy named Danny Lozano, who he's now moved on to Rock Nation, but that's also Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Ariza's agent. So I don't know. Maybe there's some connection there. Maybe there's not. I don't know enough about him. I must admit it. If it's possible to be agnostic about somebody like Albert Pujols managing the Padres, I feel a little bit agnostic about it because I just don't, I don't know how it is that he's going to run a bullpen. And I heard what you guys were saying earlier with, hey, that's Ruben Niebla's job. Maybe, but you're going to want some confidence that the manager knows how to do that sort of thing too, right? And I think he probably has put himself out there to create conversation. I'm curious to know, did the Padres reach out to him or did he make himself available to the Padres? I'm not convinced one way or the other. I just don't know enough about him in terms of how he would be as a leader inside of a clubhouse to say that I would put a contract in front of him, but I understand the appeal. I definitely understand the appeal. I would have loved it when he was a player if he had somehow ended up here in San Diego instead of the Angels, but I just am not yet convinced that I would just say, okay, here it is. Here's your contract for how many years, and let's get this going.
Here was my concern. I think I said it off air with Jim. So the one thing with going with someone like Pujols, and I enjoyed what you said about that perspective. It is a good. I mean, listen, it's not. That's way too simplistic to be like, give this guy a contract, obviously. But here would be my concern, and the Padres have had so much turnover in that chair. A guy that's got $400 million in career earnings, he doesn't need you, right? Like he doesn't need it, and it's already been proven to be a hard job. Mm-hmm. Managing in the major leagues is a hard job. So if Pujols steps in, what prevents him from walking away just like these other managers have walked away, right?
Right.
That would be my concern. He does. He's like, do I really need it? It was fine, but it's not what I
can't
really
work with Preller. He calls me at 3 a.m. Like what's going on
here? These are tough jobs. There's not a lot of Hall of Fame players that have managed. These are hard jobs, I feel like.
They're really, really hard. And I think part of it is going back to the old cliche about if you're a great player, sometimes those guys struggle to make for good coaches. And sometimes it's not because of the disconnect. Like he's not going to look up and down the bench and be like, hey, why can't Cronenworth hit 7 home runs, right? Like he's not going to have those kind of conversations, but sometimes is he a great communicator? Like was Albert always a great communicator? Was he a little grumpy at times? I do think, a first-time manager who comes from that level of success, I would question how it is that he's going to handle a bit of failure. Because it's going to come. Like, it's definitely going to come. Everything's not going to be smooth sailing, right? Even when you're on your way to 90 wins, you're going to go through some ups and downs. So how is he going to handle that as a first-time manager in the big leagues after one of the greatest careers that we've ever seen? And there's no way to know that until you put him in that position. I would have to be pretty thorough about that because I think it could be intoxicating to look at the resume and to talk about the personality and think about what it represents. I think that could all be really, really intoxicating. So I'd have to be really, really thorough and ask a lot of questions before I was ready to just say, okay, cool, let's bring that guy in here and see how it goes. It's a pretty important time in this franchise's history. So I know we don't need any convincing about who Albert Pujols is. If we were talking about the player, that's one thing. We're not. We're talking about something that he's never done before. So I would want to really, really be thorough here and make sure I'm not just going, cool, it's a good name, it's going to look good on Instagram, and maybe some guys in our clubhouse will be into it.
And I know we're all wondering about the future of AJ Preller, but interviewing for manager positions and you don't have a resolution on the future of Preller, it's like, what's taking so long here? I feel like if they were going to extend him, it should have happened by now, right?
I guess, and maybe it's just crossing T's and dotting I's, and maybe there's a little bit of clarity required about what the chain of command is going to be, because we know what it was like under a previous structure with Peter Seidler. We are less clear what the structure looks like with John Seidler. So maybe there's just a little bit of clarity that needs to be sought out before you go ahead and say yes to anything. I think these jobs are, Preller, for the most part, has had a lot of autonomy when it comes to how it is that he runs his baseball operations department. And that was by design. So is that still going to be the case? Or, are there things here that he might have to to figure out how to operate around that he hadn't previously. And, maybe it's as simple as that, or maybe he's just taking his time. Maybe he's just dragging his feet. Maybe there are other things that they have to worry about. Maybe the Schilt stuff really kind of caught them by surprise, and maybe they had to, divert some of their priorities in a different direction. I mean, there could be all sorts of reasons why. But I hope it's heading in that direction. I think it's probably the best version of the Padres to have AJ back here and feel like his future's secure. But we also have been following the Padres for a long time, guys. So we understand that we will believe that when we actually see it. It's fine if you say, hey, it's likely to do it, but Bob Melvin was likely to come back. Nobody was really talking about Mike Schilt's resignation. And, sometimes in this world, especially with this team, you have to see it until you believe it.
If you want more from Darren,
or before you believe it, or whatever I'm saying.
Yeah, we get it.
I like the first version better.
Yeah.
Both of them are good.
I also want to just be the first person here, apropos of absolutely nothing, to say the fight for the old oil can on the John and Jim show this week. So
it's a huge week. I know we haven't even mentioned that. Good job, Jim. Put down your updates.
Okay, it's Monday.
This is why you write out the updates in advance.
It's Monday. I'll talk about it on Thursday and Friday.
Darren, if you want to talk,
man, it's the week of the old oil can matchup. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this for San Diego State.
If you want to talk San Diego State basketball on section1904.com, just text me. Now I'm inviting myself on.
Okay. Done deal.
And football too.
Done deal. You got it.
All right.
Anytime you want. I mean, we want to talk football first. I mean, the program's, often flying here, so I'm excited for it. Man, everybody knows how much I used to talk about the Fresno State and San Diego State.
I know.
So I always do like that one because I'm a big fan of it.
It's a big game, and I know we're way up against it. But to your point about, hey, when you have success, when you have success, you have opportunities. It's what's happened here with Sean Lewis. I mean, from 3-9, and what people were saying about football to now 5-1, and you see all these vacancies in FBS football at the highest levels. It's like life comes at you quick, right? Like this is going to change. This has come full circle pretty quickly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not long now before we hear Sean Lewis could be the next head coach at Wisconsin.
Oh, I know. You're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Sorry, too soon. Beat Fresno first.
Beat Fresno first. Darren, appreciate you. We'll hear you Sunday for the MLS opener again for SDFC. And then for more from Darren, check out section1904.com. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff from Darren Smith. We'll react on the other side. Plus, Chase Fisher, Blenders Eyewear founder, he pledged $5 million over the next 5 years to support San Diego State men's basketball. Join us in studio at 3:30. It's Sean and Jim. Hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We've told you all about their hotel and spa. Now open. It's the next level of luxury. It's arrived, and you can treat yourself to a stunning new stay. Rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
Yeah, and savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at Jamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to luxurious VIP endless dining experience each evening. Indulgent chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
So let me tell you more about the spa. That's open as well. You can unwind in style, experience pure relaxation with indulgent treatments, serene spaces, and a retreat designed to refresh your body and mind. Only at Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, iHeartRadio has your hookup to hear new music from Bon Jovi before anyone else. The iHeartRadio album preview with Bon Jovi featuring Forever, Legendary Edition. Discover never before heard tracks from their new album, Forever, Legendary Edition. Before its official release this Friday, you'll also hear an in-depth interview as Bon Jovi shares the vision, the vibe, and the voice behind their new album. The only way to be a part of this exclusive experience is to listen live this Thursday at 7 on Today's Mix in the free iHeartRadio app.
Okay.
All right, Chase Fisher. I want to switch gears here for a second because Chase Fisher from Blender's Eyewear founder. We've had him in studio before. Terrific guy, massive supporter of San Diego State alum. Just made this unbelievable gift to San Diego State men's basketball, $5 million over 5 years. I mean, you talk about a gift.
I think we were talking about that last week, like off air. Like they need someone to just like drop a couple mil.
And on cue, he must have heard our conversation.
All of a sudden, Chase Fisher's like, I got you guys covered.
So he'll join us in a couple of minutes. And Darren just talked about San Diego State football, 5-1. Aztec basketball got underway Friday.
Yeah.
Now they lost to UCLA. It was an exhibition game. It
didn't
doesn't
count
for real until November 4th. They didn't have Magoon Guath, but like, listen, San Diego State men's basketball, the expectations this year, and they're high every year, but the expectations this year
through the roof.
Yeah, they're like, people are already asking questions like, is this team deeper than the national championship game? There's so many expectations, but and Chase will join us in studio. Like, it takes resources to maintain a roster like San Diego State has. They have multiple first-round picks potentially. Now, we'll see.
We'll see.
But like the Miles Birds and the Magoon Guas,
at least
and the
NBA
Waters,
NBA talent.
I mean, they got serious talent on this roster.
Yeah.
Guess how you do that? It takes resources.
In today's world of college athletics, 10 years ago, different world. But now, like, you have to have the money. You have to have the NIL program. You have to have all that. It can't just be solely based on recruiting. You can't win or compete or stay up with the big boys in college athletics if you don't have the resources that back the program.
Would you agree, by the way, when we were talking to Darren there, like, last year, Sean Lewis 3-9.
Yeah.
This year, they have that loss to Washington State. And then all of a sudden you rattle off 4 straight wins. They've looked like one of the better programs in the West, certainly. They're getting votes in the top 25 in the AP and coaches poll. This will not be easy, obviously, in Fresno. But like you go, like Darren said with SDFC, you go 10-2 or you win the Western Conference. It's like you're a victim sometimes of your own success.
You're like, maybe don't win too many games.
We had this conversation. I think it was a rap question. Like, would you prefer 8-4? Sean's back for a third year. You go 10-2 and he's not back for a third year.
I think you maximize it and you try to win as many games as possible.
Of course.
And we'll worry about what happens next year. But right now, Saturday for San Diego State in the afternoon, like, is it fair to say, or is it unfair to say it's the biggest game that Aztecs have had in years?
Since the 2021 Mountain West title game.
Yeah.
It's a massive game. It'll be sold out in Fresno, blackout, 40+ thousand.
Yeah, 12:30 kickoff.
12:30 kickoff, pregame at 10:30. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, joining us in studio in a couple of minutes, Chase Fisher, Blender's Eyewear founder. He pledged $5 million over the next 5 years to support San Diego State men's basketball. He'll join us coming up next right here on John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. SDFC secured the #1 seed in the Western Conference with their win over the Timbers over the weekend. Their first match will be on Sunday night at Snapdragon Stadium at 6:30. They'll find out who they play on Wednesday night as the Timbers play Real Salt Lake. The winner of that match will play SDFC this upcoming weekend. And according to reports today, Albert Pujols is scheduled to interview for the Padres managerial job on Wednesday. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print orders. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Chase Fisher, founder of Blenders Eyewear, will join us in studio coming up. And when he pops his head in, we'll have that conversation about his unbelievable gift to San Diego State. Men's basketball season is 2 weeks away. The expectations are crazy high. I wanted to respond to what Darren said about Albert Pujols. I think he brings up good points. So we were like, just give the guy the lifetime deal.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Lifetime
6
deal.
years, 60 mil, right? Whatever.
Yeah, no manager can last more than 2 years here, so give him a 6-year deal.
He makes a really good point, which is like, do we really know what we need to know to prove that Albert Pujols is a capable manager? Do we know what we need to know?
I would, but here's the thing though, and I agree with Darren, but also I would push back with this. Can't we say the same thing about every other managerial candidate for the Padres?
The candidates that they're looking at now or previous managers they've had? Like, would you say that about Bob Melvin at the time? No, you knew what type of manager he was. You're saying about the guys like Ryan Flaherty?
Yeah, I'm saying Ryan Flaherty, Ruben Niebla,
completely fair.
Albert Pujols.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, none of those guys have managerial experience.
Right.
So I would ask the same questions about those guys. And so with those questions being the same throughout,
I see what you're saying.
I'm going with the guy with the best credentials. I'm going with the guy that would demand the most respect in that clubhouse, that could, I think, bring the most out of players like Fernando Tatis Jr., which is a big thing this upcoming next season, is you need to maximize. If you're not going to go out and sign a Kyle Schwarber or a Kyle Tucker or go and find a power bat that you need in this lineup, which not going to happen, right? They need to maximize what they have. And that was the problem this year. They didn't maximize that. Toddy had a down year offensively. I don't care what anybody says. He did not have a good year offensively. Manny Machado put together, basically his numbers, but still, you're looking for more always. You didn't get a maximized season out of Jackson Merrill. And so I think you need someone in here that can maximize those players, especially Fernando Tatis Jr. And if you could do that, and you're looking for a guy to do that, I'm choosing Albert Pujols.
You bring up a good point on Tatis because like Manny falls out of bed as Manny. Like
27, 28 homers,
like,
95 RBIs, 265 average.
And of course, you want him pulling in the same direction for you. Like if you're managing, you need Manny pulling, the rope in the same direction as you. You don't want him working against you.
Right.
And he'd pull in the same direction, presumably, of Albert Pujols. But like, what's really going to change with on-field performance? Now, if you're trying to manage Manny, maybe Pujols can be the guy to put his hand on his shoulder and be like, yo, bud.
He will.
I know you've played 159 games each of the last 10 years. We're pulling you back to 149. Here's why. I mean, we're just going to do it.
He's already going to be his manager for the World Baseball Classic if Manny plays for the Dominican Republic, because Albert Pujols is the manager of that team.
Very good point.
So, I mean, that's also a question I thought about today driving in, is like, if they were to hire Albert Pujols, how would that work?
That'd be fascinating as how it would work.
Because he would then have to leave
for the WBC.
And he's a brand new manager.
I would guess they would have a different Dominican team manager.
Think so?
And I think so, because I don't think there's a sitting major league manager managing a WBC team
for
that reason.
That couldn't work. It just wouldn't work.
It's hard enough for the players leaving, but you can't have the manager leave the team.
And then another question I had too is, say they do, and my guess is they're going to interview multiple candidates here.
Of
obviously.
course they will. They should.
It's not going to be just, hey, Albert Pujols, want the job?
Of course they will.
So one of those candidates, I do believe to be Ruben Niebla.
He should be interviewed.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
So how would that dynamic work out? Is if you hired Albert Pujols and you still want Ruben Niebla back as your pitching coach, would he want to do that even though you passed on him to be the manager of the team.
Means you kind of get it though. If you're Ruben Abel's not assured of the managerial opening. He could be a candidate. Yeah. Now, could you risk Niebla leaving for? I'm making it up. The Rockies.
I just know
manager or the Twins.
If I was working somewhere and I wanted an interview to become the boss, and then they interviewed someone else,
job,
and they gave the job to someone else for a job that I was interviewing for, and now you're asking me to work under the guy that took a job that I was trying to get. I think that whole situation would be a little weird, but we're not even close to that point yet. So we'll see what happens.
Let's get Chase Fisher in here. Founded Blenders Eyewear. We're on the air. Chase, good to see you, man. Come on in, guys. Oh, yeah. Jim's he's recovering from it. He's recovering. Chase, we appreciate you swinging by. Yeah, come over here.
For having me.
So we've had Chase in the studio a number of times over the years. All right. Blenders Eyewear founder made this unbelievable commitment to San Diego State men's basketball that was just announced on Friday, where we're talking about millions of dollars to support San Diego State men's basketball. And then I saw a quote from you, Chase.
Big sigh. Yeah.
It isn't even about for you. Like, it's not fully about the dollars. I mean, people are going to see the dollars, and that's kind of the lead of a story from afar. For you, it's kind of like the story, how we got here, to me, is more impactful than the dollar. So first of all, congratulations on all these successes. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about how something like this comes about.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most meaningful moments of my life, honestly, just because it's like it's the comeback story. You know, it's like I wasn't the kid that was supposed to go on and do great things. If you looked at Chase Fisher on paper, I was a kid that was supposed to fail. So for me, like, you know, coming out of traditional education, struggling in school, and then walking away from campus, and 15 years later being the guy that's now helping steward new change and new influence and elevating this program to a whole new level is probably the most humbling, most grateful moment of my life, truly.
When did this all come about? Like, when did you start thinking of doing this and helping out San Diego State in the way that you've helped out San Diego State with this gracious $5 million donation?
So when I launched the brand in 2012, it was always my dream to one day work with SDSU Athletics, the basketball team. I launched during March Madness of 2012, right? And so that was always just like, one day I want to be able to work with the team, right? And then with the whole Coach Prime moment in 2023 and our unbelievable run to the national championship, it was like, and then NIL kind of all happening at that time. It was like, now's the time to really get involved. And so 2023 was the moment where it was like, okay, let's start the relationship. Let's get involved. How can we show up in a meaningful way that's going to actually like touch the players, but also give back in a significant way? So we did collaborations with the SDSU basketball team, and then we did the football team, and then we did the basketball team again. And in just a year and a half, 2 years, we raised almost $300,000 for student athletes at San Diego State alone. And it was a really cool partnership. Like, these are like sunglasses we're selling. We're putting guys on billboards. We're showing them like how to believe and dream bigger. They've never seen themselves on a billboard. So these are moments that they're going to have forever. And these are experiences that we can give them, you know? And so for me, it's like, how could I piggyback on that, you know? And so I felt just a calling I felt the Aztec gods were calling me to the table of like, now is the chance. Somebody needs to step up. If not me, then who? And I just felt that it was my time to truly step up and cement legacy status with SDSU. And not just from a financial standpoint, but from a unique, unfair advantage standpoint.
It's so funny because we were just talking about this during the break. Last week, me and John were having this conversation off air. Like, man, San Diego State, they just need someone to come and just like drop a bunch of money in the NIL program. And then a couple of days later, it's like, hey, by the way, Chase Fisher, hi, I'm donating $5 million. Like, here I am. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. And yeah, once again, it's an unbelievable accomplishment for you to do all this stuff.
To follow up on that point, because you know it, Chase, because you see it and you're involved intimately with these programs. I mean, you know what it takes to be successful in men's basketball or any of these sports.
100%.
The competition level is so high. The resources are so important. Looking at San Diego State right now, you might have a team with multiple NBA players. It could be 2, 3, 4 players currently on San Diego State that one day are playing in the NBA or drafted in the first round. You've seen that. So does that kind of speak to why you wanted to get involved? You understand the resources are critically important for a program like San Diego State.
Critically important. I mean, if you want to compete at the national level, you know, you have to pay to play. It's just the world we live in now. Like, that's just part of the game, right? Yeah. But just from like a personal level, like, I know what it's like to be the underdog. I know what it's like to overcome adversity. I know what it's like to build something from nothing. I know what it's like to be counted out. So like, I have a chip on my shoulder. You know, I'm kind of that kid too, where it's like, I have something to prove. And so just, there's that underlying belief with the athletes as well. It's like people want to come to San Diego State for a great opportunity, but I want to keep them here. I'm tired of losing great players. I'm tired of losing other players that come here for a year and then dip out somewhere else. So we live in America's finest city. We should have America's finest athletic, period. And if I can help get us there, I'm gonna die on the hill until that happens.
That's awesome.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard you say this before, I think with us, that when you initially founded Blenders, one of your first pairs, if not your first pair, was named after the show.
Our first pair was black and red, named after the San Diego State student section of the show.
That's awesome.
During March Madness.
Talk about full circle.
And this, I mean, this whole journey in the last 6 months, 6 to 12 months, even a year, has just been all full circle moments. I mean, this is a full circle moment again for me, right? It's just the ultimate comeback story. And I take so much pride in this. I love this, John. Like these are my people. These are my best friends. This is my home. And I want to be the difference maker. I'm a disruptor. I'm a change maker at heart. And so if I'm going to come in, I'm going to set a new precedent. I'm going to activate alumni. I want to bring new entrepreneurial energy into the program. I want to put SDSU on the national stage for good. I don't want Dutch on the phone making all these sales calls after in portal season and trying to fundraise. Like I want to help contribute what the team has already been able to do. And they take such great pride in culture, and they have so many great things going on. And I just want to help amplify all of it.
And, this team this year, we've talked about it, that they have a chance to do something really special. I know you've seen them and all the kids, and you've, watched these kids play for the last couple of years. Like, what's your thoughts on this year's Aztec basketball team?
I'm so excited, man. I mean, I'm so excited. Like I was just telling our team, like I was like, guys, like what we're doing is actually making a difference. Like look at the football team this year. They're 5-1.
No doubt.
And so like, look at the basketball team. Like we've been able to keep a lot of guys from last year. I mean, there's high hopes this year, but I don't want to just I don't want to jinx anything.
Exactly.
But I'm confident in the leadership. I know Dutch and all the guys and like the whole staff. Like these are best in class people. And I've talked to so many players that have left, and they all say the same thing. Damn, I wish I wouldn't have left. San Diego's pretty good. Those people invested in me, and so I want to be part of that. So I have high hopes for the season. I do. The national championship's got to run through San Diego now for good. Now I have really big skin in the game.
Yeah, you do.
Big skin in the game.
Yes,
but no matter what, man, like through the highs and lows, I'm like a ride or die. So this isn't like, oh, I'm going to dip out after a year. No, I'm an Aztec for life. I bleed black and red. I'm here for good.
That's awesome.
That's where I was going to follow up, because your commitment is over a period of time. So this is about for you. And again, this has been kind of lifelong for you. I mean, you're a graduate of San Diego State. This is one of those things with college athletics. You just want to put yourself in a position to be successful year in and year out. It's one thing to have a good year. These programs have good years. It's another thing to do it consistently, like San Diego State men's basketball has done it.
100%. But like the vision's bigger than basketball.
Right.
Like I want to touch all of athletics. I'm starting with basketball, and I'm going to continue to support basketball. But like I want everybody that puts on that black and red jersey, every sport, I want them to feel part of something bigger than the game itself. And that's what Coach Dutch talks all the time about. Is this is bigger than basketball. What happens when the ball stops bouncing? And so I want to be part of that story. I want to be part of that change. I want to be a guy that can really help, steward something outside the sport. So my vision's bigger than just basketball for sure. I want all of SDSU to be great in every sport. But if you want the main product to continue to be great, you got to keep investing in them. So I'm starting there, and then we'll kind of reevaluate year in, year out.
Chase, man, it is great to see you. I know Aztec fans are thrilled because you do hear, like what Jim said, like, hey, San Diego State has been so successful. And then if they also had those additional resources to maintain that success, and someone like yourself has stepped up and put San Diego State in that position.
Totally, man. I mean, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to build a company from literally $2,000. I did it from a backpack. San Diego State's built their program the same way, brick by brick. And that's the underlying belief. Like it's always been less is more mentality. Now, how do we get them the resources and the tools to kind of, stay at that level and keep competing? Because I want to get us back to the Final Four, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do
you
this.
And me both, my friend. Chase Fisher, Blenders Eyewear founder, again, pledging a $5 million donation over the next 5 years to support San Diego State men's basketball. Chase, awesome seeing you. Thanks for swinging by.
Likewise, guys.
We'll see you at Viejas Arena.
Let's go, baby.
Next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
All right, much more conversation on the other side. As again at 4:30, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, on Week 7 in the NFL, will join us. Stay with us. This is John and Jim. All right, great stuff. Chase Fisher in studio, super cool. He's done amazing work with blenders and now with San Diego State Athletics as well. We appreciate him swinging by. Next sizable donation's got to come from the man to my right.
I got $20. Is that?
I think that's transformational.
How much is that going to do?
Nothing. Dude.
Nothing. I could buy someone like lunch with that.
Yeah, buy it for Aaron. Okay, buy it for Aaron.
I could go up to 50, maybe even $100. How about $100? What can $100?
I'll tell you what though. We've talked to Chase a ton over the years. You talk about someone that's just like knows how to market. No, like he's the right ambassador for San Diego State. Young guy, alum. Yeah, did it himself.
Yeah, those are the type of people that I'm like, man, I wish I could be that person.
You should have started,
but
the sunglass company.
No, I'm not built like that. I don't know.
You're really not.
I'm not. Neither are you.
You're
because if you were, you wouldn't be.
Yeah,
here.
but here's my thing. Because here's what I always tell people: if there's any young people listening right now, like I'm gonna do
okay, do it.
Here's what I would say. Like if you're a young person, or maybe you're in the middle of your career, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to do what I'm doing. I want to pivot in my career. I'm dead serious when I say this. Find something you love doing and pursue it to the fullest degree. Like Chase Fisher wanted to start a sunglass company. He used $2,000 and sold sunglasses door to door, right? Out of his own book bag. I was 8 years old. I'm like, I want to be on the radio. I want to call baseball games, right? This is what I said when I was 8 years old. Now, whatever it is, but like, that's what I always say to young people. Like, find something you want to do. Yeah. You know, like, money's important. You need it. You got to pay bills. Yeah. You don't want to live on the streets. It's nice if you have both a passion and you're able to be paid off financially. But at the end of the day, be happy with what you do.
Some people are built different. Some people want that 9 to 5 and just, go in, clock out. Some people don't want to even consider a 9 to 5. Like I'm the person.
You do a 2 to 6. You're like, this sucks.
You're the same way.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I feel the same way as you do. Like find something that you love to do and pursue that.
Yeah, what's the adage? Like find something you like to do and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've worked. No, I'm not going to say it.
Yes,
I'm not going to say it because you're going to just give me crap for something, whatever.
Man, we've been on the air for like 4 hours. This is crazy.
Like you haven't worked, Jim. You don't work at all.
Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30. Senior NFL writer for CBS Sports. We have not won but 2 games tonight. Talk about a busy sports night in general. You have a Game 7 we haven't even touched on. You have this Lions-Bucks game in Detroit that'll get underway in 10 minutes. You have this Seahawks game in Seattle that's going to get underway at 7 o'clock Pacific. But it kind of starts and ends with Game 7. The true great words in sports tonight in Toronto. Blue Jays and Mariners. I have no idea what to expect. They put up a really great stat the other night. Like in the history of Game 7s, I want to see home teams are like 29-30. In baseball history are 30-29. So to me, it's a coin flip. It's a Game 7.
Turn your mic on. Who's pitching tonight?
Pitchers for both the Blue Jays and the Mariners.
Okay.
To toe the rubber.
We got Kirby against Bieber.
Okay. What's the line?
So Shane Bieber.
Toronto's a favorite at home, I would assume.
Yeah, they have to be a favorite at home. George Kirby on the road.
Yeah, it's like Toronto minus 135.
Obviously, all hands are on deck.
My God.
You're not having either of these guys go long in the game if they're in trouble.
If they're in trouble, yeah.
Yesterday, the Mariners, it wasn't, I feel like the game was closer than it really was.
I agree. They had a lot of opportunities in that game.
Because they had back-to-back innings in the second and third inning, or the third and fourth inning, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Bases loaded, less than 2 outs. They came away with no runs.
Correct.
And for me, at some point, the dam's got to break, and it just didn't break there.
Yep.
So, going into this Game 7 tonight, I'm not sitting here worried about the Mariners offense being bad.
Right.
They just haven't capitalized on some opportunities. But I still take the Blue Jays tonight.
Blue Jays at home.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, a home team, Toronto, I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has played out of his freaking mind.
He has.
I'll take the Blue Jays tonight in Game 7, even though I want the Mariners.
Jim sent out a tweet maybe in Game 5 when Eugenio Suarez hit that grand slam to essentially give the Mariners a 3-2 series lead. And you're like, this has to be the biggest moment in Mariners.
Yeah, it was a dumb tweet by me.
Such a moron. They just won the Feder Cup.
I know.
Within a few months of that. And you thought that was bigger than taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres in July?
I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. The Feder Cup clearly by far is the number one moment in Mariners history. And it's probably the number one moment this year for the Mariners. And yeah, that grand slam in game 5 was nice. It was cute.
Dude, imagine being like, hear me out for a second. You're a lifelong Mariners fan. I don't know how many exist, but you're a lifelong Mariners
It's a
fan.
good amount. They're all crying at the game every time the Mariners score a run.
I'm kidding. But so you're a lifelong Mariners fan, and they've never appeared in a World Series. And now you're on a doorstep where you win a game.
Game 7 on the road.
Now, don't get me wrong. Toronto, it's been a while. It's not like they're appearing in World Series every day. 1993, you're going back. You're going back a generation.
20 plus years.
But they went back to back.
30 plus years.
They went back to back. But to be this close, it is so cruel when you bow out at this point. It's one thing if you've won like 3 of the last 5 World Series. If the Dodgers lost a game 7 of an NLCS, well, they won the World Series last year. But if the Mariners lose game 7 of an ALCS, the reason I say it, there's no guarantee they're back here next year. That's not how sports work.
Nope.
You know,
it took them so long to get to this point.
Exactly.
And when you get to this point, you got to capitalize on it because you don't know when the moment's going to come again.
No clue. It could be years. I mean, they could get back. They're a good team.
Like now it's recent memory here, but Padres, they made the NLCS in 2022
and they've gone backwards.
Exactly.
In the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, tonight, Mariners.
Would you call it a must win?
It's a must win.
Yeah.
It's a must win.
I could see
I think that if you lose tonight, your season might be over.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Right.
By the way, here's a question. I mean, I don't know the answer because the Dodgers didn't have this amazing regular season. Where is game 1 of the World Series?
If Toronto wins, it's in Toronto. If the Mariners win, it's in LA.
Okay.
Because
good insight.
The Blue Jays
had a better
record than the Dodgers, and the Dodgers had a better record than the Mariners.
Okay. Does that matter at the end of the day? Probably not.
It's
based
funny.
on how the Dodgers are a favorite regardless.
It's so funny too, because say the Mariners win tonight.
Yep.
The last series of the year was Mariners-Dodgers, where the Dodgers and the Mariners had nothing to play for.
What happened in that series?
Dodgers swept them.
Okay.
I think they swept them.
You're saying in Seattle, the Dodgers swept them, and that was the difference in home field advantage.
Exactly.
Even though they had nothing, quote unquote, nothing to play for, they actually had a lot to play for.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the difference.
Imagine if that came to a 7th game. And then that was the difference.
Yeah, because the Mariners won 90 games, Dodgers won 93 games.
Well, that's insane. So, right, if the Mariners went 2-1 over those 3 games, they would have had a better record than the Dodgers.
And if they make the World Series, they would have home field over the Dodgers.
Whoa. All right.
Yep.
On the other side, we'll get to the wrap. Will Brinson, CBS Sports, on this weekend in the NFL and these 2 games on Monday Night Football. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. We're here until 6. We'll tell you about today's giveaway as well. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and there's no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer. They've got new vehicles arriving daily, including their most popular cars, trucks. We'll tell you more about the trucks in a moment, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today. It is Trucktober, right? Trucktober is going on right now at your Toyota dealer. Your best time to get into a new Toyota truck. They've got the largest inventory, Tacomas, Tundras. They're ready to roll. The Tacoma is known for its legendary toughness, off-road capability, and everyday efficiency, perfect for weekend adventures or just tackling your to-do list. And the Tundra brings serious power, impressive towing capacity, and bold design, plus the latest tech and comfort features. Whether you need a truck that's built for the trails or built for work or built for your family's next adventure, Toyota's got you covered this Trucktober. So make sure to get down there. New vehicles arriving daily. We make it easy. See your Toyota dealer today.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. SDFC secured the number 1 spot in the Western Conference with their win over Portland this past weekend. They will start their home playoff match on Sunday night, 6:30 p.m., either against Portland or Real Salt Lake. Their match was on Wednesday to determine who faces SDFC. And reports today are saying that the Padres are going to interview Albert Pujols on Wednesday for their vacant managerial position. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. And first, let's save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Some weird stuff in week 7 of the NFL.
Taylor, zigzag move. Taylor works in for the touchdown. Play fake, boot right, throws it out to the right. Ferguson.
Shout out to Jim Russell.
Christian McCaffrey over 200 yards of offense, and the Niners win it 20-10 here at home.
SDFC ends the regular season with emphasis.
San Diego FC, Padres City Football Club. 4 goals in Portland.
The Aztecs swing back into action after the bye week.
The San Diego Padres have called future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols with interest in interviewing him for the team's manager position. My first thought, that's the guy. One, he brings immediate credibility. Manny and Tatis, they have no choice but to look up to Albert Pujols. He'll walk in there with credentials that all the other guys that are on this list don't even have. They're not even sniffing these credentials.
It just got interesting.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. Will Brinson swings by, CBS Sports senior NFL writer at 4:30. We have Monday Night Football underway, and a good one between the 4-2 Lions and the 5-1 Buccaneers, just underway in Detroit tonight. The first of 2 games on Monday Night Football.
I mean, at least they're good games, but I hate the double Monday Night Football matchup. I hate it, the doubleheader.
Now, where I give them credit this week over last week is these aren't stacked games where one game started at 4 and the next game started at 5. Tonight, there's a game at 4 and there's a game at 7 Pacific.
Man, if you're in Seattle today,
you better have the multiple screen setup because Mariners get underway at what, 5?
Mariners get underway at 5:10.
Couple minutes after 5. So 5:10.
Yeah.
The Seahawks will get underway at 7.
Yeah.
That's called inning 5.
So if you're going to the Seattle Seahawks game tonight.
Oh, I'm not going to that. You can't go to that. Seriously.
But
how could you be watching the Mariners?
What if you got tickets already?
No, I got to sell those tickets. I'm serious.
You can watch the end of the game at
Seahawks play week 7 games every year.
Yeah, but there's TVs around that ballpark. You can watch the Mariners game. It's like going to a big bar, except you're going to a football stadium with a bunch of Mariners fans.
Okay. Trying to use the comp. I mean, the Mariners have never played in a World Series.
I know, John.
I'm not going to Seahawks. Who are they playing?
Texans.
I'm not going to Seahawks. Texans. Sell my tickets. I'll take a loss on those.
It's on the road.
Sitting in front. No, it's in Seattle.
No, the Mariners game's on the road. It's not like the Mariners playing across the street.
But this is like if the Niners are in the Super Bowl. You have to be in front of the TV.
Okay.
Don't you?
But you're going to be in front of the TV. You're going to be watching the game on your phone or watching the game at the stadium.
That's fair. All right, Will Brinson will join us coming up. I
can't speak, by the way. This is a problem.
You cannot speak.
I physically can't speak.
You really can't.
Every time I take a breath, I'm on the verge of coughing my brains out.
Here's the thing. We're in an interesting stretch where we haven't necessarily had John and Jim a lot because I'm calling football games.
Yeah.
So if the team's on the road, I'm traveling on Fridays.
Right.
And then I was away this past week visiting family, and you were away for a couple of days visiting Erin. Well, she lives with you.
I was at a funeral. Yes.
A funeral. Not right. That's not what I was just saying. You were visiting family. I wasn't getting into specifics.
Yeah, to go to a funeral.
Okay. Fair.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know what to say now.
You laugh when you're nervous, huh?
You're just learning about me.
I know.
Anyway, it'll be herky jerky again this week is my point. Because I'm actually, Brent doesn't even know this. I'm not here tomorrow. Nor Friday. Because of San Diego State.
Wait, hold on.
Well, San Diego State plays in Fresno.
That's right up the street.
No, it's not.
Well, you're going Friday? I didn't know this.
I thought LA was right up the street.
So you're going to Fresno on Friday?
How would you like me to get there?
Are you flying?
I'm not surprised about Friday. Why tomorrow?
Because I need to.
We'll tell you.
Yeah. There's a reason.
But Friday, I did not know this. This is news to me. And if I can't speak, this is a problem.
It's not news because Fridays, what do you want me to travel separate from the team and spend $300?
I didn't know. Hold on.
They play Fresno.
I thought you were taking like a bus up there or something.
It's like 9 hours.
Is it?
How far? It's far. Seriously, Google San Diego. Like, look in Google Maps right now. San Diego, Fresno. It's not 20 minutes. Like LaDainian Tomlinson thinks it's 5 hours away. It's 6 hours and 8 minutes right now.
It's 5 hours and 44 minutes on my
phone.
with
no traffic through LA somehow right now.
Not that bad.
Like, have you ever been to like Northern California? It's up there.
Okay.
All right, let's get to it.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
What was your takeaway from San Diego State's exhibition loss to UCLA?
Jim, were you there?
I was not there, John.
Dealing with COVID or whatever.
Yeah, I had COVID 35.
Have you seen any box score? Or
look,
social?
The 17-0 run to start the game, not ideal.
Well, that was for UCLA.
I know.
Okay.
But again, you didn't have Magoon.
Bird didn't start.
You're not having like tight rotations. You're playing a bunch of guys.
Well, real quick, did you see how many minutes Donovan Dent played for UCLA?
I did not.
36.
Why?
I have no idea. Like, it's an exhibition game. Donovan Dent, who's a brilliant guard who we saw in New Mexico, right? I mean, terrific player. Played 36 minutes. Nobody on San Diego State played more than like 26. So, and Miles Bird played like 20 minutes. And no Guad.
Yeah, so I take really nothing away from it. And they came back in the game and they only lost by what, 7?
Lost by 7. They pulled to within 2?
Yeah.
From 20 down.
Yeah, I take virtually nothing from it. Everyone came out healthy. Reese Waters looked nice.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest takeaway.
So did you say season over? Was your takeaway?
I did text you. I was like, is the season over?
You're like, is this team I'm like, relax. It's like exhibition game 1. My takeaway is everything's going to work out perfectly. Let's see what they look like when Magoon Guath returns. And Miles Bird had been in and out of practice. I think Duck said postgame he had missed 10 of the last 12 practices. So it's very, very early. And you're going to get your first litmus test in Las Vegas for the Players Era at the end of November. That's what you're waiting on. Next question.
Do you think San Diego FC wins the MLS Cup?
I don't know. But I think that they have as good a shot as anybody to win the MLS Cup. Not going to be easy. They have a lot to overcome, particularly the San Diego sports curse. But look, I think that they're well equipped. I think they've had a successful year. And even if they don't win the MLS Cup, I don't view this season any differently. I'm not going to view it as a disappointment if they don't win it. I'm not going to view it as, a letdown, because to me, they've already exceeded expectations. They've put together the greatest regular season in expansion team history to be first place in the Western Conference at the end of the year. Most points scored, most wins, all that. Incredible year, regardless of what happens in the postseason.
What if they get to the MLS Cup? And I agree with you. I think the takeaway is, wow, they made an MLS Cup. What if they get to an MLS Cup? I was going to say, and then they lose.
Well, then fire everybody.
I'm saying, like, if you get that close,
then it
like,
will be tough.
Disappointed if they lost the MLS Cup.
Of course you'll be disappointed, but you're not going to say disappointing.
You're not going to say fire everyone. Like,
no.
How could this happen?
You can be disappointed in the loss, but there's two different types of disappointments I look at. Like with the Padres this season, for me, disappointing year.
Right.
For STFC,
it would just be a disappointing finish or like match.
Yeah, but it won't be a disappointing year. It'll be a wildly successful season with a disappointing finish if that were to play out.
I agree with you. Next question.
It'll be Manny's fault. Blame ownership.
Well, Manny's going to be there on Sunday, he said.
Of course he will be. He owns the team.
He was saying how during games he would have one of the clubbies give him the scores of SDFC. I mean, are we going to have a conversation about how he was not focused on
That's not going to happen under Pujols. Promise you that.
No way in
That's
hell.
the first conversation they have.
Yeah.
Hey, Gamecast, gotta go.
Gotta go.
Next question.
Who's the biggest threat to OKC in the NBA this season?
Themselves.
That's
No.
what my answer would have been.
I think. I gotta see what Houston looks like. Even though they lost Fred VanVleet,
Yeah.
that's a pretty massive loss. But they're deciding to go some crazy new lineups this year with like.
Well, all these tall guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm interested to see if the Nuggets, how they look this year. I don't know.
What about Boston?
No, not without Tatum.
Yeah, good point.
I'll just go Houston because that's the default answer here that I got.
What about Golden State? That's what Chris Hodges told us.
Hey,
I think OKC, honestly, to like Brent's point, or when I joke like themselves, I think they're better than last year. They were impossible to beat at home last year. At one point, they were 30-4 last season. They were something like 38-3 at home. Good luck. They should be a heavy favorite heading into the year. We'll see. There's injuries. Things happen. They didn't have Chet for most of last year, and they still won. Next question.
Would Albert Pujols be a good manager?
No. After all that.
No, I think
Not
he's
really.
gonna suck. Actually, I think he'd be
I
good.
don't see why he wouldn't be.
Yeah, I have the same questions for Albert Pujols. You have to ask the same questions about almost anybody they hire, unless it's like Bochy, right?
Well, Bochy's automatically fought a bed the best possible scenario.
But it's not happening.
Right.
That's the so. If I'm looking at the names that have been thrown out there already,
Yep.
there's questions for all those guys. You know, if you're going to say that you don't really know what Albert Pujols, what he would be as a manager, well, you have to say the same thing about Ruben Yeablin, the same thing about Ryan Flaherty.
Yeah,
So, and if you're looking at other first-time guys that have never been managers before, you have the same questions. I just look at who can get the most out of the guys that you need to get the most out of. And for me, I would pick Albert Pujols.
Yeah, I mean, who would you rather have? Tony Vitello, who's the head coach. He's not even the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, it's a weird
who the
one.
Giants are set to be on the verge of hiring.
That's a weird one.
Or Albert Pujols. Now, I will say this. Ryan Sandberg, when he managed in the major leagues, has spent 4 years managing in the minor leagues. Now, I think it's a different world without double switches. I think the size of staffs, I don't think it's a prerequisite. There's a lot of guys that have managed in the major leagues that have never managed.
Yeah.
Hadn't previously been a coach. Again, there's going to be some moments you're like, oh, that's interesting because he's going to be a first-time manager.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. I can live with that.
Yeah.
In a regular season, knowing that I've got Albert Pujols. Like Albert Pujols is your manager. That just sounds like put it on a billboard.
Well, you know, if you hire him as a manager and you let him go out and pick his staff, I'm sure that he would go out and get somebody with like credentials that have maybe has been a manager before to
Make
help
Mike
him.
Trout the hitting coach.
He still plays baseball, John.
That's right.
Make Yadier Molina
Thank you.
something.
Mike Schilt, bring him back.
Oh, jeez.
Make it all Cardinals.
Now, did Mike Schilt manage? No, he didn't
No,
manage.
no. Way
Pujols.
after. Yeah. Because Pujols spent his last 10 years in Anaheim.
But Pujols did go back to St. Louis.
Good point.
That was
But
Mike
that was
Schilt
2020 what?
2022. So
I think it was 2022. Schilt was in the Padres organization, was he not?
yeah, he was planning his ways to become manager of the Padres in the future.
Wait, was Schilt in the organization for 2 years before he became manager?
Yeah, he was the guy that was behind the scenes that was talking to Peter Seidler every day, just waiting for his moment and opportunity to pounce on the managerial position and undercut Bob Melvin as Bob Melvin was here as a manager. I know that's not the case, but it kind of feels that way in hindsight. Oh, did I say that out loud?
You did say that out loud.
Yeah.
All right, more on the Padres managerial search on the other side. What was reported today in the UT from Kevin Acee and others. Plus at 4:30, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports, will join the show. This is John and Jim. Stay with us. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30. I was running around all day, these like San Diego State's press conferences on Monday, and I saw what Kevin wrote about Pujols. Who else is expected to be interviewed? Niebla is expected to be interviewed.
I think Niebla is expected. Yes, I would say
Nick Hundley,
Ryan Flaherty are names that have been floated out there as possible candidates. Again, every name we just mentioned never been a manager before. So look, if you have reservations about Albert Pujols being a manager, those same questions have to be asked
of Nick Hundley.
Exactly. So you can't be like, oh, Nick Hundley's better than Albert Pujols. Like, why?
Right. So I'm just looking at Pujols' resume. We know what it is on field.
It's pretty good.
Right. Like, would you take 703 home runs? I would.
Yeah.
Right, but again, this is different. Would you take an 11-time All-Star? Yeah, we get it. Now, he has managed in the Dominican Winter League and Caribbean Series.
Yep.
So he's got limited managing experience. You talked about he's scheduled to be the Dominican team manager in the WBC. That's a very limited period of time. Right. So he's kind of like dabbled in it. He's been an assistant with the Angels organization. Yeah. He spent a ton of time in Southern California the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So I just think I like it. Again, and it's honestly, with all due respect, like Nick Hundley might be a fine manager. Ryan Flaherty might be a fine manager. Ruben Niebla might be a great manager.
Yeah.
But like all things equal, and I do know the Padres love to like market themselves. I mean, that's such a marketing win if you hire Albert Pujols.
I know that that's not always about winning the press conference. I know that.
Because they've won press conferences.
Yeah, they win press conferences all the time and they have nothing to show for it. But I'm looking past that. I know the Albert Pujols hire would absolutely win the press conference and crush on social media, right? I get that. But I'm looking beyond that, and I'm looking at who can unlock this team.
Right.
To me, I'm looking at the names, and I feel like Albert Pujols is the guy to unlock the certain players on this team that need to be unlocked. Fernando Tatis Jr. at the top of that list. You need Toddy to get back to pre-PED Toddy, pre-injury Toddy. Maybe it never will happen. Maybe the injury and the PED suspension was the turning point of his career to turn him into this offensive player for the rest of his time here in San Diego. Maybe that's the case. Maybe nothing can unlock Fernando Tatis. Maybe nobody can unlock Fernando Tatis Jr. But I would bet the best person to try to do that would be Albert Pujols, right? And for me, the two guys in this clubhouse that you need on your side more than anybody is Manny and Toddy. And with Albert Pujols, I think, those guys have no choice but to respect Albert and look up to Albert. Obviously they do, but to perform their best. So for me, I just think with the dynamic of that clubhouse, Albert makes the most sense right now. And I know all the names that they have out there, Ruben Niebla, Flaherty, Hundley, they're nice names. I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those guys would be awful hires. I just think that if you were to ask me of the four guys that we mentioned here that we know of so far, Albert to me feels like the guy that I'd go with.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any concerns that Pujols is no longer in the Angels running because they were at an impasse, and the impasse was over coaches, resources, and compensation?
Yes and no. Yes, because if he were to come here, we know AJ likes to have guys in that clubhouse, in that dugout, on the coaching staff that he picks, that he hires. So that does concern me a little bit. The compensation, not so much, because my guess is Artie Moreno went the cheap route and was like, "Hey, we're already paying you this like legacy deal."
Yeah.
So why do you want another $1 million on top of this to be the manager?
Well, I was wondering, is it the resources for his salary, or because, hey, this is the pool I want to work with for my staff? Because these staffs are so large, dude.
Some could be large, but I mean, the Padres had what, 13, 14, 15 guys on their coaching staff last year? That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's what I'm saying. So, like, is the compensation? Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, Preller, to your point, has a reputation as being hard-headed, right? And for like, you either get in line or there have been issues. Even Schilt was in line, and it only worked out for 2 years, or presumably in line. Like, is Albert Pujols, one of the most accomplished players in the history of the sport, going to quote unquote get in line? Or will he be given carte blanche, resources, staff? And that's kind of a fascinating like, if you're AJ Preller at this point in your career, are you just going to give him the keys to everything? Like, hey, Albert, here, make the hires.
I do think it's a good thing that the Angels have now decided that they're moving on from Albert Pujols.
I think he would have potentially been their manager.
Right, because if the Angels really wanted to make this work, Pujols is going to be their manager.
Right.
But that's just an opportunity now, I think, for San Diego to step in and, potentially have Albert as their next manager. There's nobody out there to me that I'm like, they have to go get. Pujols, to me, is the closest thing to that. Just because of everything I've talked about, and I think it just makes so much sense.
I'll be disappointed if it's not Albert Pujols.
I think I will.
I
think I will be not disappointed too now. Yeah.
I just will be.
Yeah, because whoever they go get, if it's not Albert Pujols, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Babe Ruth. All right, on the other side, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports. We'll talk about tonight, 2 games in the NFL and more with Will Brinson coming up next. John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Monday Night Football underway right now in Detroit. Lions have a 7-0 lead over the Bucks. Game 2 of the Monday Night doubleheader, Seahawks-Texans, kicks off at 7 p.m. in Seattle. Speaking of Seattle, pretty big game tonight in Seattle for the Mariners, but they're playing in Toronto. Game 7, Blue Jays and Mariners winner heads to the World Series to face the Dodgers on Friday night. And SDFC, they're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference of the MLS playoffs. Game 1 for them will be on Sunday night here at Snapdragon Stadium at 6:30 p.m. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print orders. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
All right, we'll get into this past weekend in the NFL, and not one but 2 Monday Night Football games, including one underway right now between Detroit and Tampa Bay in Detroit. And Will Brinson back with us, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports on John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760. Will, we always appreciate your time. I may have asked this in the last week or two, but with the way Tampa's been playing, Detroit obviously coming off the heartbreak last year in the postseason, losing at home to Washington, but in your opinion, I know it's still early enough in the year, and we'll see how tonight plays out, but who's more likely to reach the Super Bowl in the NFC among these 2 teams?
Well, I'll take the Lions. I think, I think Detroit, offensively, good luck poking holes in what they can do, right? I know Jared Goff turned it over a few minutes ago, but generally speaking, they're loaded across the board, and they have so many different weapons that can beat you, the 2-headed running backs and Gibbs and Montgomery. And then defensively, they had issues for sure, but it's mostly injury related, right? I mean, the back end has been banged up, and Aleem McNeil, a guy from NC State, back in the lineup tonight, and I think it's making a difference. You can see the Bucs kind of struggling on offense through at least a quarter. So I think Detroit should probably be the favorite to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC, unless. And this is a big unless, and I'm sure you guys will ask about this, but unless whatever Eagles team we saw on Sunday is magically like the Eagles for the rest of the year, because then you might be willing to make Philadelphia the favorite. But I think just the way that Detroit plays on offense, they really haven't skipped a beat with the coordinator losses on both sides. I'll take the Lions all day.
Yeah, and speaking of the Eagles, they looked good yesterday against the Vikings. Jalen Hurts, had one of his better games through the air, 3 touchdowns, and AJ Brown caught a couple touchdowns, but they're kind of, to me, hard to read this year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. They were coming off 2 straight losses. A road favorite against Minnesota, and I think I sort of thought maybe the wrong team was favored. Had a good week against the spread, but that was one of the ones I was definitely wrong on. It's like if you had told me before and not that if you had told me they would throw 3 passing touchdowns, then obviously I would have been on Philadelphia. If you had told me that the Eagles were going to come in and attack vertically the way that they did, which is something they just really haven't done all season long, that would have changed my mind completely about that game. And really good job by Jalen Hurts yesterday. I agree, one of his best games of his career. You get the thing is, you get AJ Brown involved, you get Devontae Smith involved, you threaten defenses vertically, you push the ball down the field, and what's going to happen is it's going to make life easier for Saquon Barkley. Last year they fed off of Saquon running really well behind an offensive line that was gelled, that was performing perfectly, and they let the play action and stuff build off that. You could build the other way too, right? You could throw the football really well and then force teams to deal with the pressure that puts on the back end of the defense and how they respond against your rushing attack. And so I love this. Just for the sake of the Eagles being, dominant again. Not that I want them to be dominant, but just if you want to see their offense be good, do that more often moving forward over the next few weeks. They have a bye week 9, but let's see how they come out next week. And if this is the new reality, the Eagles are dangerous.
Will Brinson, CBS Sports, with us right now on John and Jim. So let's just look at the NFC right now, where Rams and Niners 5-2, Seahawks 4-2, Bucks 5-1, Packers 4-1-1. We've talked about the Lions, Eagles 5-2. We just talked about Where do the Niners stack up? I mean, that's a lot of teams among that group of 6, 7.
How are they doing this?
And like, where are? I mean, are they like sixth of those? Like, where are they in this pecking order?
I mean, they're up there, right? I mean, like, you know, I know that Shane Steichen for the Colts is rightfully the current heavy Coach of the Year favorite, and he should be. You know, he's got Daniel Jones under center. The Colts are, you know, maybe like you could make the argument that they're the best team in football. I'll take the Chiefs. But I mean, the Colts are great. However, Kyle Shanahan isn't doing this with like a healthy team and a formerly high drafted quarterback who probably got a raw deal in another city and is now got some good coaching. He's doing it with like an absolute, like that whole team is a tourniquet right now. It's incredible. And actually, I think that he is doing it with a quarterback who's drafted highly by another team and had bad coaching, and Mac Jones. And I think doing what he's doing with Mac Jones is just a testament to his coaching. Chris McCaffrey having an unbelievable season, and what a performance on Sunday night. Robert Saleh, by the way, assistant coach of the year, maybe 7 weeks in. I mean, you know, this guy was great in San Francisco. Goes to New York, doesn't work out as a head coach, but you know, you lose Fred Warner, you lose Nick Bosa, and that defense is still playing really well. And the 49ers are going to be there at the end. It's just how healthy are they going to be, and you know, can they, you know, do they have enough firepower to deal with a Tampa? I mean, Tampa, Detroit, or Philadelphia, one of those teams, or the Rams, who I think secretly might be the best team in football.
Yeah, and they lost their starting center today to a hamstring injury, and Bryce Huff also got hurt. He's out for the hamstring injury as well. So it's like they just continue to get injured every single week. It's kind of the craziest thing I've ever seen in football. What do you take away from the Raiders and the Chiefs game? That the Raiders are that bad, or the Chiefs are back to being the Chiefs again?
I think the Chiefs are back, and you know, the Raiders are not good anyway. When you lose Brock Bowers, you lose Jacoby Myers, you don't have a very good defense. It's a hard, you know, road to hoe, so to speak. But Rashee Rice back out there, you know, the Chiefs looked really good against the Lions last week. Then you bring Rashee Rice back, and that offense just all of a sudden looks like the Chiefs. And Mahomes is, you know, I think they had they pulled Mahomes in like the early third quarter, I think. It's one of the earliest I've ever seen a starting quarterback pulled from the lineup, pulled out from under center in an NFL game against a division rival. You know, even if it's a blowout, I mean, they're just like, we don't need him out there. And yeah, Pete Carroll wasn't even calling his timeouts at the end. I get it. He was down 31-0. I get it. But I think it's a testament to the Chiefs probably being back, because that defense has been really good. And now all of a sudden that offense looks like it did when the Chiefs were winning their Super Bowls and able to score on anyone at any point in time. So if they stay healthy, remember the first snap of that game was the first regular season snap that Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Hollywood Brown had ever played together. So like, if those guys stay healthy and Travis Kelce's still out there too, yeah, the Chiefs are a big problem.
Did you say, by the way, did you say you think the Rams might be the best team in the NFL, or playing like the best team in the NFL?
I mean, I'm a Rams fan, so like, just because I love Matthew Stafford. But yeah, I think there's a reasonable case to be made for it. They could easily be undefeated right now. They've had 3 close games, I guess, but I mean, they defensively are really good, and Stafford is playing like, I think the MVP list right now. You know, I'm not going to do the thing where we pretend like Jonathan Taylor could be MVP, but I mean. You know, I mean, because he deserves a mention, but he's not going to win it. I mean, it's Mahomes, Baker, Stafford. I'm missing somebody else. Joe Flacco. I'm missing somebody else. I think Stafford is right there through 7 weeks in terms of most valuable players. He looks phenomenal. It's crazy to see after all the stuff this offseason about his back injury and whether he's going to be ready to go. Like, I think that as long as Stafford stays healthy, they got Puka back. The Rams are a force.
Yeah, right. Rams, 5 touchdowns there today for Stafford against the Jags. It was, they are a team to absolutely watch out for. I wanted to talk about the Dolphins real quick, because we might talk about the Dolphins again this season. I mean, it is basically a train wreck down there. It is an absolute train wreck with Tua and Mike McDaniel. How do you see this thing ending?
It's crazy too because Steve Ross comes out today. He's like, I'm not making a move now. It's like, and those of us who are worried that James Franklin will take the UNC job, we're thrilled because we don't want Belichick leaving for Miami midseason and Franklin comes in town. So that's another side. But I think that's the only job that Belichick could possibly get in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, I think McDaniel's in trouble. His arms look like a wet noodle all season. Achane is a great player. They lose Tyreek Hill. He's going to be cut this offseason. So it's like all of a sudden this offense that was so explosive when McDaniel got there is just very limp. And it doesn't feel like, they have that explosiveness. It was a really bad matchup too, because their run defense in particular is a train wreck. They can't stop anyone. Quinshon Judkins ran all over them. It was kind of bad weather, but not as bad as we thought in Cleveland. And yeah, I mean, like that win against the Jets, like, congrats, here's your participation trophy. You beat the winless team, in prime time, and people briefly thought you were back. The issue is, like, I think Mike McDaniel's a good coach. I know he's a good play caller. I just don't know, like who are you going to bring in that's going to fix it with Tua? Or, you're stuck with Tua. And I'm not sure that there's a ton of coaches out there who really want to coach him, given his injury history, given how his arm looks. And, this is not some guy, it's not like it's Josh Allen in his second year where you're like, all right, this guy's wildly inaccurate, but he's a physical freak and we think we can coach him up. I mean, this is somebody who's drafted in 2020. He is what he is, and he works in a Mike McDaniel system, but I don't know if he's going to work in somebody else's system. So they're in a bad spot.
I'm going to leave you with this. It's not a question, but since you said like you're a Rams guy, when my wife, who's 43, you know this, Jim, my wife used to babysit Sean McVay. In Pittsburgh.
Right, yeah.
No way. That's awesome.
Isn't that not insane? Because they were like family friends. And I think his dad was what, Tim? He might have been like.
You're saying your wife who, I mean, you're the one who brought up your wife's age, not me on radio. Like,
correct.
You said who is 43, not when she was 43.
No,
right?
no, she is 43. He's only, I think, 4 years younger.
Okay,
But you know that age where like, you know that age where
how
like.
old is your wife, dude?
No, she's 43 now.
She's now 67.
But again, it's kind of
I'm
crazy.
44. Totally, it's a great age. It's a great age. But yeah,
Okay.
I was like,
Anyway, she taught him everything he knows. But yeah, she used to. That's the whole story. She used to babysit.
That's fantastic.
Sean McVay in
I
Pittsburgh.
bet he was a hyperactive question asking babysitter
That remembered everything. That had a memory like that was crazy good.
Potentially, I'm not sure, but I just know that's the whole story. My wife has babysat
that's a great
Sean McVay
tidbit.
multiple times, but that's the whole story. Will, we appreciate you taking time for us. We'll do it again next week. All right.
All right, boys. Talk to you next week.
All right. Good stuff from Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. What do you got, Brent? All right, let's give away tickets to Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. We'll do that on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. reacting to the news that the Padres will interview Albert Pujols to potentially be their next manager as well, reportedly as soon as this Wednesday. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. As you know, we're the flagship home for SDFC, and Vicky, who works in PR for SDFC, just brought by some playoff gear.
Look at this.
Look at this. You got to turn your mic on. You
look at this right here.
They didn't bring Jim a playoff mic.
No, they didn't. They didn't actually. So what we got here, you can get it 18 Threads in Mission Valley. Their official team store.
Look at this.
We got the official SDFC 2025 postseason box with a bunch of swag in it.
This.
Got a San Diego FC playoff shirt. Got a
With a picture
SDFC.
of Snapdragon on the front. I
Wow.
like this.
We have a MLS Cup playoff hat. We also have a scarf in here.
This is dope.
Got a what is this? A keychain. This is awesome.
This would be
Wow.
more of a lanyard.
Oh, a lanyard.
You know what I mean? A keychain would be something you put your keys on that's a chain.
Yeah.
This would be a lanyard.
Okay. Well,
You know,
what,
goes around
John?
your neck.
I didn't pull it out of the box, so I didn't really see it quite.
We got
well.
the scar. I mean, we have everything.
Look at this. Here we go. Get this scarf on. Whoa. Look
Look at that.
at this thing.
I'll rock this.
Okay.
Segment. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me put this scarf on. Whoa. All right. What we
This is
got
cool.
here? It's a big scarf.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what scarves
Yeah,
are.
I know, John.
What's a small scarf?
What else is this? What's this? Ooh, I got it. I got this.
Oh, you got a
shirt.
different
I
shirt.
got a different shirt.
Let me see your shirt.
It says our time.
No, I like my shirt.
I like your shirt. I like your shirt better too.
What size is yours?
Let's see here. Mine
L?
is a large.
I'm a large too. Perfect.
Yeah, mine's a large. I got this hat right here. Put the hat on.
Are we going Sunday night?
Potentially.
What do you mean potentially?
I need to talk to
Mary,
some
we
people.
got tickets?
We need to talk. Yeah, we got.
No, you got to talk to Erin.
We got to talk to Erin. Yeah,
She's what?
she's the boss.
Yeah, obviously. No, I get it.
All right, so I got this hat, scarf, the shirt.
It's great.
It's
Life's
awesome.
good, man.
Thank you, Vicky.
Now all they have to do is win the MLS Cup and everything's perfect.
Yeah, so you can get this, I guess, swag box.
18 threads, right?
18 threads in Mission Valley at playoffs 2025 SDFC swag box.
I love it. We are going to give away in about 5 minutes a 4-pack of tickets to a Howl Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. We've been telling you about again, this is something that I would like to see, but I don't know if I'd be a good candidate to go to Howl Scream because I feel like I could have a heart attack. But I think it's a cool.
Have you told our listeners about that?
What do you mean?
That you have like, I'm not going to, like not a fear
of things? Yeah, I fear.
No, you're a schizophrenic, but like.
No, I'm not schizophrenic.
Or no.
I'm not schizophrenic. What are you talking about?
Sorry, no. You're a hypochondriac. That's what it was.
It's a difference.
It's a big difference. Not even close.
You're such an idiot. Hold on. Schizophrenic. A schizophrenic is a chronic mental health condition characterized by a combination of positive, negative, and cognitive symptoms that significantly impair daily functioning.
That's like when you hear
That's
voices
you.
and stuff.
That is me. Yeah. That's when you hear voices.
A
No.
schizophrenic.
You freak out about the tiniest little things and you make it into like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, like a caterpillar in my room or something.
Caterpillar. Well, what I was
What were
saying
you trying to say?
that anytime that you feel like, oh, my chest hurts.
I'll go to the hospital.
You go to the hospital because you think you're having a heart attack.
Yeah, because when your chest hurts, you should go to. They literally say on like Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, like WebMD or ChatGPT. Hey, does your heart hurt? Like, go to the hospital.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I have no clue. I forget. What were we saying?
I don't know. I'm
trying to put the scarf on the right way.
I'm like burning up. I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
Like
I'm wearing a
choking
scarf.
over here.
Holy moly!
Nice scarf. Hey, if it was cold out, it's a nice scarf.
Yeah, this would be.
But
perfect
also,
if it was cold out.
soccer scarves is cool.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
If you missed Darren Smith, who calls SDFC games, you can hear him Sunday night, 6:30 for that postseason opener for SDFC. If you missed our conversation with Darren Smith on SDFC and on the Padres, you'll hear it coming up at 5 p.m. We spent a good amount of today talking about Albert Pujols as a Padres managerial candidate, and that is the case. He is a Padres managerial candidate. Now, he may also interview elsewhere, right? Baltimore.
The Orioles are another team that has expressed interest, I think, in Albert Pujols.
So, and again, this isn't the only person they're going to interview, as we've talked about, whether it's Ruben Niebla or Nick Hundley or Ryan Flaherty or others. They're obviously going to interview other people, but this could happen as soon as Wednesday. That Pujols is going to,
I think it is
interview.
I think
Is it Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday. It's
Okay, so
going
he's
down.
so, and then it goes back to the initial question, which is like, is AJ Preller fully secure, and how important is that going to be when you talk like Pujols was at an impasse with the Angels, whatever the reason, over his coaching staff or over compensation or the resources from the organization. Is he going to be cool to walk into the Padres and be like, oh, your GM is under contract for 1 year? Oh, and you're giving me a 3-year deal, but his future is uncertain? Like, it seems to me like the order is lock up your GM, let your GM and front office make a determination on your manager. It doesn't make any sense to me. It never made sense that Schilt was locked up longer than Preller. It doesn't make sense to me to go give Albert Pujols a 3-year contract, for example, and have ambiguity on AJ Preller's future.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Because
if your Pujols, oh, that's cool.
Because you need to have everybody aligned.
Yeah.
And it's like the way to do things is you have a general manager that hires the manager, and you don't have the manager have a longer contract than the general manager.
Right.
So if you hire a manager, you're giving them more than a year contract. Right.
There's no such thing. Yeah,
no such thing.
The shortest is 2.
My guess is they would do like a 3-year deal.
Yeah, it's Pujols. He's not taking a 2-year deal.
No, you do a 3-year deal. So that means you need to give AJ a 2-year contract extension.
That's where I think this is heading, by the way. Now, is some of this, hey, Preller says, he wants a 3-year extension. And John Seidler says, we'll give you a year. Are they going to meet in the middle and be like, hey, you're signed now through 2028. You'll get a 2-year extension? Like, that's where I think this is heading. Also, to Darren's earlier point, if you missed the conversation, you'll hear at 5. What's the structure of the organization moving forward? And does Preller have the leverage to maintain like independence from Eric Grupner?
I just think the longer this goes on, the
worse.
Not worse, but just like the weirder it potentially could get. And the more awkward it could get. Because you're looking to hire a manager right now and you have a bunch of questions about your general manager.
Right.
Or at least publicly.
Well, that's why I would lock up my G. Like, this is not hard. Yeah. To your earlier tweet, you've had 2 weeks since you lost the Cubs.
Yeah.
Come to terms with your general manager if that's what you want to do. Figure this out. If nothing else, give him another year.
Now, the interesting thing is here, if this wasn't a pushing out and firing of Mike Schilt, and this was Mike Schilt just quitting on his own, did the organization, did Grupner and John Seidler maybe have plans of pushing out Preller, and then all of a sudden Schilt quits and they're like, we can't do that because now it's like we got to do all this other. It's like there's so much to do here.
Push out Preller. We've all seen the Twitter polls.
The Twitter polls.
Like you talk about something that's wildly unpopular is pushing out AJ. You sent out the tweet. Preller, Grupner, who stays? Who? I mean, it's not even a conversation. You can't push out AJ Preller. Preller can leave. I still think that people are going to freak out. Yeah. If Preller became the next general manager of the New York Yankees, be like, oh, okay. And people would still freak out. But imagine if he was pushed out. He was fired. Yeah, what's the reaction going to be?
Yeah. And I know Grupner tried to, backpedal some things this morning, but it's just all PR speak. It's nothing really of substance. And go ahead, discredit Dennis Lynn all you want, but I think I'm gonna go with the reporting on this one and the things that I've heard as well. It's like there is tension there.
Yeah, it's not like Dennis just like on a whim, like he covers the team for 3 weeks. Here's what Dennis has consistently covered the Padres year in and year out. Is a very credible reporter with sources.
I'm sorry, you can say it's all BS all you want, but I don't really think so.
No, I would guess that his reporting is fully verifiable.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically that's what I would say.
Right.
That's what I would say.
And once again, it's like every 2 years we get an article about dysfunction in the organization. It's amazing. It's truly amazing how that happens.
Put a reminder in your phone for 2027.
2027.
October.
We get an article about dysfunction inside the organization. Whoever's still here.
All right, Darren Smith on SDFC winning the West and on the drama involving the San Diego Padres on the other side. But we did promise you a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego, and caller 7, you are going. Call right now if you want that free 4-pack of tickets. 877-767-4760. Call right now. New horrors awaken, 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, and the shrills of Coasters After Dark. Select nights now through November 1st. Tickets at SeaWorldSanDiego.com or excuse me, SeaWorld.com/San Diego. Caller 7, you're going 877-767-4760. It's John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples. We'll start with Monday Night Football right now. First game of the doubleheader tonight. Lions leading the Bucks 7-0 with 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Game 2 tonight, Seahawks and Texans in Seattle. It's a big sports night in Seattle as the Mariners looking to advance to their first World Series in franchise history as they take on the Blue Jays in Game 7 in Toronto. Winner of that series will take on the Dodgers on Friday for Game 1 of the World Series. Your local Staples has hot deals at super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print orders. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of John and Jim. If you missed our conversation with Darren Smith, who covers SDFC and, of course, has covered the Padres for a long, long time, we started by asking him about his thoughts on where SDFC is right now, from pick to finish in last place in the Western Conference to winning the Western Conference.
Winning the West?
Right.
Absolutely not. I mean, I thought they'd be good. I thought they might be better. It's funny that you say that because I looked that up today too. And not only did they have SDFC 15th, they had Vancouver finishing 14th. So I'm not a big let's keep those receipts guy, but that's one. If you're Vancouver and San Diego, you're probably sitting around going, okay, let's just tuck that away. No, I mean, I think, who said it really well is midfielder Anibal Godoy, because he was on an expansion team back in 2020 in Nashville. He said the focus in Nashville was, hey, we're just trying to get a team on the field. You're welcome. Here it is. We now have Major League Soccer. So that was how it was presented to the fans in Nashville. They'd waited a long time, and there was the excitement and the novelty of it, but it's going to take a little while to build a winner. And I did hear the conversation with Tyler, who I think is really sharp, and I think you have to give him and Mikey Barras a ton of credit because they came into this with a style and an identity, structure of system of play that they felt like could work in Major League Soccer, and not just to catch people by surprise in the beginning of the season, but they felt like what Tyler was talking about, how they're going to play on the road, is going to be consistent with how they play at home, and that was going to convert to success. So I think they had a really good plan, and then obviously it's clicked with some players. But I thought maybe they would be competitive for a playoff spot, but this is crazy. This is just it's an incredible story to watch this happen and have it come down to the final match of the season. Made it even better.
So where do you stand with matchups? So we got the Portland Timbers and Salt Lake playing on Wednesday to determine who will go to Snapdragon Stadium on Sunday to play SDFC. Who would you want to face, or who would you want SDFC to face come Sunday night?
Well, you got to be careful with this.
I know.
I think the Portland, it's because then that then becomes one of those. Hey, we've got the receipts. The broadcaster said. But Portland hasn't scored in 2 tries against SDFC, and I do wonder if it wasn't just a beating that they took in Portland over the weekend, if it wasn't even demoralizing. I kept thinking about that watching SDFC pump 3 goals in there in the second half. If it wasn't a little, hey, we might play these guys again next week, so let's make sure that we really give it to them. Like we really, really rub their noses in it a little bit, so that not only do we walk out of here doing what we have to do, picking up the 3 points, so we put ourselves in a position to finish in first in the West, but let's also make sure that we're making a statement to them that they're going to be excited if they get into the playoff, but they're not going to be real excited about who it is that they're going to have to face for at least 2 matches and potentially 3 if it gets to that.
All right, Darren,
I didn't answer the question, by the way. So I don't know that I would just, I guess if you're forcing me, I feel confident against either one of them, but I do appreciate what it was that just happened this past weekend. You not only beat them, but embarrassed them. You had their crowd booing them in their building on what's been a disappointing season. And I can't imagine that group would want to face this team again. But I would say, for SDFC, they probably are willing to take on either one of these 2 teams coming up next Sunday.
I guess I should have asked, who do you think they match up better against? Like with the matchups, if they were to play Real Salt Lake or they were to play Portland. Okay.
Yeah, I think Portland, just because Portland really has a tough time scoring. They're pretty good at goal prevention, but they're not really good at goal scoring. And I think that that's something that San Diego is really, really good at.
Here's my question, Darren, and tell me if it's a dumb question, but this happens in others. It's probably Jim's looking at me like it's a dumb question.
It's a dumb question.
Obviously, with the Padres, we go into an offseason, we're like, oh, the future of their manager and their GM. Will we do the same thing with SDFC? Like, I don't know the contract terms, for example, of Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps. Will their success elicit other, I mean, it has to, right? Elicit other potential opportunities for them, or how is this going to work in the offseason?
I would think it does. There's always a bit of, do you become somehow victimized by your own success in that regard? Because, if I were a team and I were a team that was looking for a really creative, innovative type of coach, and I saw what it was that happened with an expansion team in Major League Soccer, and on top of that, I saw a particular style that is really appealing. Like, they play really appealing soccer. They don't just like kicking it around. It's not just possession for the sake of possession. They want to score. They want to be playing with initiative. They want to do all those things to be entertaining as well. It makes him a very attractive candidate. His ability to communicate is like second to none. So I think both of them have really, really bright futures, and that's just the way it goes in sports, right? Like, even in college, we're seeing this sort of stuff all the time. The Indiana coach just got rewarded with a $90 million contract because people were worried he was going to end up heading off to some other bigger program, right? So, you do have to keep in mind that this is sort of the natural progression of the sport. It's going to be part of SDFC's future when it comes to players. Part of why you want to build around academy players, that you're going to get these players through your system and you're going to make them to attractive clubs all around the world. So I hope it doesn't happen too soon. I do think that they're really, really, really good fits here, not just for the whole program, but also for the whole project, but also for the city. But yeah, I mean, they're really good. They're really, really good at what they do. And, you would love for them to see at some point somebody go, hey, we would like to take a chance on a player like that, or a coach like that, or a general manager like that at some of the highest levels in the sport around the world. But, I'm going to enjoy them while they're here, and I hope they're going to be here for a little while longer.
Yeah, it's been just an absolutely incredible year for SDFC. Moving over to the Padres here before we let you go here, Darren. Albert Pujols' name has come up. I know you probably talked about it today on Section 1904, but what are your thoughts on potentially having Albert Pujols step in as manager? Me and John think that if he wants the job, like, bring the paperwork. Don't interview anybody else. Like, he's the guy if he wants the job. What's your take on that?
I don't know that I'd be that ready to put a contract in front of him. Yeah, I do think that there's interesting connections, not just in terms of nationality with certain guys in the clubhouse, but for a long time, Albert Pujols, his agent was a guy named Danny Lozano, who he's now moved on to Rock Nation, but that's also Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Ariza's agent. So I don't know, maybe there's some connection there, maybe there's not. I don't know enough about him. I must admit it, if it's possible to be agnostic about somebody like Albert Pujols managing the Padres, I feel a little bit agnostic about it because I just don't know how it is that he's going to run a bullpen. And I heard what you guys were saying earlier with, hey, that's Ruben Niebla's job. Maybe, but you're going to want some confidence that the manager knows how to do that sort of thing too, right? And I think he probably has put himself out there to create conversation. I'm curious to know, did the Padres reach out to him, or did he make himself available to the Padres? I'm not convinced one way or the other. I just don't know enough about him in terms of how he would be as a leader inside of a clubhouse to say that I would put a contract in front of him. But I understand the appeal. I definitely understand the appeal. I would have loved it when he was a player, if he had somehow ended up here in San Diego instead of the Angels. But I just am not yet convinced that I would just say, okay, here it is. Here's your contract for how many years, and let's get this going.
Here was my concern. I think I said it off air with Jim. So the one thing with going with someone like Pujols, and I enjoyed what you said about that perspective. It is a good. I mean, listen, that's way too simplistic to be like, give this guy a contract, obviously. But here would be my concern, and the Padres have had so much turnover in that chair. A guy that's got $400 million in career earnings, he doesn't need you, right? Like, he doesn't need it, and it's already been proven to be a hard job. Managing in the major leagues is a hard job. So if Pujols steps in, what prevents him from walking away just like these other managers have walked away, right?
Right.
That would be my concern. He does. He's like, do I really need it? It was fine, but it's not what I
can't
really
work with Preller. He calls me at 3 a.m. Like, what's going on
these
here?
These are tough jobs. There's not a lot of Hall of Fame players that have managed. These are hard jobs, I feel like.
They're really, really hard. And I think part of it is going back to the old cliche about if you're a great player, sometimes those guys struggle to make for good coaches. And sometimes it's not because of the disconnect. Like, he's not going to look up and down the bench and be like, hey, why can't Cronenworth hit 7 home runs, right? Like, he's not going to have those kind of conversations. But sometimes, is he a great communicator? Like, was Albert always a great communicator? Was he a little grumpy at times? I do think, a first-time manager who comes from that level of success, I would question how it is that he's going to handle a bit of failure. Because it's going to come. Like, it's definitely going to come. Everything's not going to be smooth sailing, right? Even when you're on your way to 90 wins, you're going to go through some ups and downs. So how is he going to handle that as a first-time manager in the big leagues after one of the greatest careers that we've ever seen? And there's no way to know that until you put him in that position. I would have to be pretty thorough about that, because I think it could be intoxicating to look at the resume and to talk about the personality and think about what it represents. I think that could all be really, really intoxicating. So I'd have to be really, really thorough and ask a lot of questions before I was ready to just say, okay, cool, let's bring that guy in here and see how it goes. It's a pretty important time in this franchise's history. So I know we don't need any convincing about who Albert Pujols is. If we were talking about the player, that's one thing. We're not. We're talking about something that he's never done before. So I would want to really, really be thorough here and make sure I'm not just going, cool, it's a good name, it's going to look good on Instagram, and maybe some guys in our clubhouse will be into it.
And I know we're all wondering about the future of AJ Preller, but like interviewing for manager positions and you don't have a resolution on the future of Preller, it's like, what's taking so long here? I feel like if they were going to extend him, it should have happened by now, right?
I guess, and maybe it's just crossing T's and dotting I's, and maybe there's a little bit of clarity required about what the chain of command is going to be, because we know what it was like under a previous structure with Peter Seidler. We are less clear what the structure looks like with John Seidler. So maybe there's just a little bit of clarity that needs to be sought out before you go ahead and say yes to anything. I think these jobs are, Preller, for the most part, has had a lot of autonomy when it comes to how it is that he runs his baseball operations department. And that was by design. So is that still going to be the case? Or, are there things here that he might have to figure out how to operate around that he hadn't previously? And, maybe it's as simple as that, or maybe he's just taking his time. Maybe he's just dragging his feet. Maybe there are other things that they have to worry about. Maybe the Schilt stuff really kind of caught them by surprise, and maybe they had to, divert some of their priorities in a different direction. I mean, there could be all sorts of reasons why. But I hope it's heading in that direction. I think it's probably the best version of the Padres to have AJ back here and feel like his future's secure. But we also have been following the Padres for a long time, guys. So we understand that we will believe that when we actually see it. It's fine if you say, hey, it's likely to do it, but Bob Melvin was likely to come back. Nobody was really talking about Mike Schilt's resignation. And, sometimes in this world, especially with this team, you have to see it until you believe it.
If you want more from Darren,
or before you believe it, or whatever I'm saying.
Yeah, we get it.
I like the first version better.
Yeah.
Both of them are good.
I also want to just be the first person here, apropos of absolutely nothing, to say the fight for the old oil can on the John and Jim show this week. So
it's a huge week. I know we haven't even mentioned that. Good job, Jim. Put down your updates.
Okay, it's Monday.
This is why you write out the updates in advance.
It's Monday. I'll talk about it on Thursday and Friday.
Darren, if you want to talk,
man, it's the week of the old oil can matchup. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this for San Diego State.
If you want to talk San Diego State basketball on section1904.com, just text me. Now I'm inviting myself on.
Okay, done deal.
And football too.
Done deal. You got it.
All right.
Anytime you want. Man, we want to talk football first. I mean, programs, off and flying here. So I'm
mean,
excited for it. Man, everybody knows how much I used to talk about the Fresno State and San Diego State.
I know.
So I always do like that one because I'm a big fan of it.
It's a big game, and I know we're way up against it. But to your point about, hey, when you have success, when you have success, you have opportunities. It's what's happened here with Sean Lewis. I mean, from 3-9, and what people were saying about football to now 5-1, and you see all these vacancies at FBS football at the highest levels. It's like life comes at you quick, right? Like this is going to change. This has come full circle pretty quickly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not long now before we hear Sean Lewis could be the next head coach at Wisconsin.
Oh,
I know. You're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Sorry, too soon. Beat Fresno first.
Beat Fresno first. Darren, appreciate you. We'll hear you Sunday for the MLS opener again for SDFC. And then for more from Darren, check out section1904.com. Appreciate you, man. All right, we will react to that on the other side here until 6 p.m. John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Speaking of San Diego Sports 760, Jim, 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday. It's the Bonus Bucks giveaway. That's every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 6 p.m. The World Series 7th. No, this isn't the World Series.
It's not the World Series.
You're right. It's the ALCS. The 7th game of the American League Championship Series is underway, and former Padre Josh Naylor has given the Mariners a 1-0 first inning lead on an RBI single.
Julio Rodriguez led the game off with a double. Cal Raleigh struck out, and Josh Naylor drove him in with an RBI single.
Do you go to your closer here?
Yeah.
For the final 27 outs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Munoz, yeah.
Yeah, just
Brash and Munoz. Just
find a way.
Yeah.
Navigate the next 27 outs.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you got who's pitching for the Mariners here?
Who did you say?
George Kirby is
Kirby,
pitching. Yeah. His ERA this postseason, John, is 7.07 in 14 innings pitched with a 1.43 whip.
All right, so the leash may be short.
You think?
So, okay. Yeah, but
Look,
we'll see.
I'm just counting outs here. Like, I'm not trying to see if I can get 3 or 4 innings out of this guy. Like, hey, can you give us 5 outs? Like, you know what I mean? This is all hands on deck. Game 7. We saw how it went with the Padres and Cubs in game 3. You know, Darvish, he was done after the second inning. Any trouble, you have the lead. Any trouble, you're going to your bullpen. Everybody's available. You're not pitching again until Friday, so you have a full week off. So you're unloading the clip. Brian Woo's available for Munoz is available for multiple innings. Brash is available for multiple innings. Like you are unloading the clip. Castillo's available out of the bullpen.
There's no saving anyone.
No.
I mean, like you said, they're playing again Friday, the winner of this game.
Yeah.
So you got 3 days off. I mean, the Dodgers, they're probably in Cancun right now.
Yeah. Blake Snell's online asking for like game codes.
He's like, probably retweeting the El Paso Chihuahuas tweet.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Blake Snell, the El Paso Chihuahuas congratulated Blake Snell on being a former Chihuahua to pitch in the World Series. Like, you're the AAA affiliate of the Padres.
No, the World Series final, John.
Yeah, they said congratulations on reaching the World Series final.
Oh, they deleted the tweet.
Yeah, a little late. It was up for over 3 hours.
Yeah,
It had thousands of likes.
They tweeted it 6 hours ago. And they said, big congrats to former Chihuahua Blake Snell headed to the World Series final.
Who's the new intern?
Yeah, who messed that up?
Do you think that this final could be better than OKC Miami with Big 3 versus Big 3?
I'm guessing it could be like the 2015 final.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who played in that?
The Warriors. They
and
won.
The Cavs?
Yeah. That's all I got. But yeah, I agree. It's going to go up there with one of the best finals ever.
But hold on. Like, if you're an affiliate for a major league team, don't congratulate a player now on a different major league team, especially if you're now in the Dodgers.
Yeah, you're a rival.
Do you see the Padres sending out a tweet today? Congratulations, Blake Snell, on reaching the World Series final.
No, because that'd be stupid.
Yeah, same thing if the AAA affiliate did. Who do you think said take it down? You think the Padres called? I do.
Maybe.
That took a long time.
Someone called. That thing was up for hours. And it was getting destroyed.
Someone had it like scheduled, like, all right, see ya. Taking the rest of the day off.
I think they actually said it so only people that they follow could reply to it. So it got so many quote tweets instead. So nobody could reply to it. You could only quote tweet it. Yeah, that's bad. Bad look.
All right, Jim's back page is coming up. Updates on Game 7 of the ALCS plus Monday Night Football. We're here until 6 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Staples. Game 7 of the ALCS underway in Toronto. Seattle has an early 1-0 lead over the Blue Jays. The Wizards are in the bottom of the first inning there. Monday Night Football, we have a doubleheader happening tonight. First up, Lions and Bucks. Lions lead the Bucks 14-0 with 1 minute left to go in the first half. Seahawks and Texans are the nightcap starting at 7 p.m. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions do apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim's back page is ahead. We're keeping our eye on Game 7 of the American League Championship Series between the Mariners and the Blue Jays.
Must be nice to have a feared hitter in your lineup. Every time they come up, always do something.
I mean, that's the Padres lineup on paper.
It's a Padres lineup on MLB The Show.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, Tatis, Machado, Merrill, Arias this past year.
Bogarts?
Wow, they're going to go as far as the top 4 or 5 go.
I say that because we're watching Game 7 right now. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is now 10 for 23 with 3 home runs in the ALCS. Is that good?
He's been absurd.
It's just insane.
Yep.
And he is the most feared hitter in the postseason right now. Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Those 3 home
Ohtani.
runs, I get it. But
There's 3 home runs. That's a lot.
But I mean, overall,
they're both feared.
They're both really. I know. I get it. Let's talk about that for a second. So what did you make of that game? Like, on a serious note, I know we both don't like Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
We hate the Dodgers.
It's ridiculous, obviously. I mean, to do it on that stage is ridiculous. I mean, to pitch like that and to be able to, I mean, come on. It's insane. Honestly, what my fear is when we watch it from this perspective of we cover this Padres team every single day and you see what's happening in Los Angeles, like, what's the end in sight?
There's no
like, what's here's the solution. There's no end in sight.
They were so gettable this year in the regular season. And now they're going to win their second straight World Series. And they're probably going to just bulldoze their way through, winning in 5.
Yeah. And then they'll be the favorite to win the World Series again next year.
And the year after. And the year after that.
Yeah. It's like, and there was some tweet, I think I sent it to you over the weekend. We're like, oh, by the way, the Dodgers, you know how they paid Ohtani $700 million, even though they deferred it all? They made over $700 million on that contract in year 1.
Yep.
With their marketing deals through like Asia.
But look, I hate Ohtani. I think he's fake. I think he weaseled his way out of and made his interpreter take the fall. There's more there, but no one wants to look into it with the whole gambling scandal. But
what was the scandal this year?
What was the scandal this year?
It was just a scandal.
He endorsed like a hotel or something.
That's right.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
But what he did in Game 4, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs.
I mean, get some Brewers.
But it's the NLCS, dude.
I know. No,
it's really hard to say that's not the greatest game ever played.
Did you see Tyler Wade June 9th?
Yeah, those bunts were really
Moved
good.
the runner.
Yeah, moved the runner.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, the sack fly.
Right.
I know. You're right. You're right.
You heard what Schulte said postgame?
Oh, that's what I remember.
So don't tell me about greatest game.
That's where Wadey was born. the legend of Tyler Wade.
Here's the thing. Okay, let's talk about the most marketable. Like, where's Ohtani among the list of like marketable playing sports in America athletes? Like, because of his appeal overseas as well. Like, is he bigger than like Mahomes?
Yeah.
Is he bigger than LeBron? Now, baseball isn't, but like he's reached the point where, like, is he the most recognizable athlete out there
in the world?
Yeah, I mean, just playing in the States, I guess. I mean, Messi would be there, obviously.
Messi is. You're right. Messi. You can't forget about Messi. Messi
I'm just saying,
is probably
like,
the number 1 guy.
Think about the separation between Ohtani and any other baseball player. A, an on-field ability right now.
Not even close.
And being like marketability.
Yeah, we talked about this. Is like when Ohtani's on the mound pitching, he's the best player in the sport. It's not even close.
You're saying because he's pitching and hitting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he's doing what he did in Game 4 of the NLCS, 3 home runs, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. That's literally absurd. I hate the guy. Can't stand the Dodgers.
The dumbest part of it, dude, is
it's ridiculous.
If the NL had universal DH when he came over, a decade ago, whenever it was, right? 8 years ago. I mean, does he go to the Angels or does he go to the Padres? Yeah, it's a different world. And then they pursued him again at the end with the Angels, remember?
Yeah.
They called on him again.
If you're Artie Moreno,
yeah, you won nothing.
I mean, you got to sell, dude. What are you doing here?
You didn't. Not only did you win nothing, you weren't close to winning anything.
Someone had a good tweet about it too. I retweeted it. Let me see if we can find it real quick because it sums up Artie Moreno as a owner very well.
Did you had Trout? Look at Trout's first 10 years.
Yeah, here's a tweet. It says, if I owned a team, had Shohei, wasted him, lost him to the team that plays in the city I pretend to play in, saw him go 50-50, win a World Series, then hit 3 home runs in a game he pitched to clinch the pennant the next year, I'd have to sell.
Yeah.
No idea how Artie Moreno keeps doing this.
Yeah, like how do you live with yourself?
You can't.
How could you waste 6 years? They paid him nothing because of the posting fees. Remember that? It's the same thing as Roki. He wasn't making any money with Anaheim.
No.
They had so many other resources they could have used on their team. Dodgers are now paying him. Angels paid him nothing.
The Dodgers are paying him $2 million a year because of the whole deferral crap.
That too, but forget about that for a second. I mean, the Angels truly paid him nothing and couldn't win with him.
We are tied in Game 7.
Wow. That's called a clutch hit. 2-out single.
But the Ohtani thing, I mean, yeah, there's no end in sight here.
Yeah, I mean, what is he, 30?
Yeah, if he's going to pitch, he's getting better as a pitcher. Like he's getting stronger.
He hasn't thrown that many innings. He's 31.
He's going to continue to hit 50 home runs. Dude, it's ridiculous. I can't stand the guy. I think he's so fake. But there's no denying when he's on the mound and he's pitching, he's the best player in the sport.
I mean, when he's in the batter's box.
One of the best players.
I will say this, and I don't care if I'm jinxing 2026. He really doesn't. He hasn't done much against the Padres, right?
Oh, there you go. Good job.
He did last year in game 1.
Shohei Ohtani with 2 perfect games against the Padres next year and
back-to-back,
7 home runs total.
They've won like 10 World Series the last 9 years. How can I can't jinx away?
Yeah, right.
That,
Yeah,
what are his career numbers against the Padres? Seriously,
I don't think they're great.
They're not.
Ohtani really hasn't been good at the plate up until Game 4 of the NLCS this postseason.
Right. I mean, it's a big however when you have 3 home runs in one game. But yeah, you're right. I was going to look this up, but do I even care?
You don't care.
I do care. I do care.
But you don't really care.
No, I do care a lot. Hold on. What do you think his career numbers are against the Padres?
255 with
like what?
2 home runs.
What's his OPS?
650.
650?
Yeah.
707. His career batting average against the Padres?
I was kind of close.
Is 218.
Ooh, so he sucks because of the Padres.
In 37 games.
He sucks.
Don't jinx it like that, dude. All right, so they're 1-1 through 1 in Toronto.
It's going to be a long game.
This is going to be 40 minutes. Well, 30-minute first inning.
Yeah.
Are we like...
But it doesn't matter. Whoever wins this game
Are
is
you
going to
going to
lose.
be upset if the Mariners lose?
Yeah, I will.
Why? Because I'm just curious. Because I feel the same way, but Kristen's a Mariners fan. So I have a reason.
Why?
She was born in Seattle.
So she's a Mariners fan and a
Pacers
fan.
She lived in Indiana.
And an Aztec fan.
She's married to me.
That's true. Okay. I want the Mariners to win because I like to see franchises that have never been into a World Series go to a World Series. I think it'd be cool. And I don't think that either of these teams are going to beat the Dodgers, so it doesn't really matter to me. Maybe
you're saying who's the bigger threat? It doesn't matter.
If I were to pick the bigger threat, I might go Toronto just because they have home field.
Yep.
Seattle. I don't know about Seattle. But I think it'd be cool if they made the World Series. That'd be awesome.
It'd be amazing if they made the World Series. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to yeah. I mean, I'm definitely rooting for Seattle. And I do think it's a good story, but I don't really care, truthfully. I feel like there's a lot of, for whatever reason, there's a lot of people pulling for the Mariners. I guess it is because they haven't played in the World Series.
By the way, my take of October being the best sports month, it's living up.
With the MLB's postseason or that coupled with NFL?
Everything.
NBA starting tomorrow.
NBA. You have the NHL has already begun, MLS postseason. You got NFL. You got college football, college basketball starting, baseball postseason. Name me a better month. I'll wait.
March Madness.
No, doesn't hold the candle. Sorry. March Madness is great, but it's just one singular sport. Does not match up to the amount of sports.
No, because in March you also have like
would you rather go
NBA late regular season?
You go to a nice restaurant and they give you an option of one thing, or they give you an option of all these different things that you could get. I'm going to the restaurant with multiple options.
So you like a diner?
Sure.
A diner has everything.
I know.
But is that where you want to eat?
If it has multiple options I could choose from.
It does.
And if you go to some place that only has one option, I mean, it's still really good.
Really, really good.
Really good. But maybe I don't want it that day. Maybe I want something different.
Jim's back page coming up next. Bunting. To bunt or not to bunt? It has come up in Game 7 of the ALCS in the second inning.
You think Schulte's somewhere like, baby?
The Mariners with 2 on and nobody out bunted, and now have second and third with 1 out. Your thoughts, Jim Russell, before we get to the back page?
Well, it was the number 7 hitter,
J.P. Crawford,
who's hitting 111 in the series, 2 for 18.
But they bunted for a guy hitting 100 this postseason, right?
Makes sense. Well, it didn't work because the guy struck out because he sucks.
So they played out of a big inning to potentially score a run, and now they need a 2-out hit.
Yeah. Good luck.
With their number 9 hitter.
Good luck. Never bunt.
That's going to be a big talking point.
Never bunt, ladies and gentlemen. But probably J.P. Crawford probably grounds in a double play anyway. So
we'll never know. He could have hit a 3-run home run, right?
True.
We will never know. So this is the American League, and this is Game 7 in the second inning. So we it's a Padres thing. It's come up a number of times this postseason.
Look,
right? We've talked about it a few times.
When you need to bunt guys over for your 8-9 hitters that are hitting 100, you don't score a run.
Didn't score. How much they have struggled with runners at third and 1 out.
It reminds me so much of the Padres when it comes to runners in scoring position. Like when I'm watching the Mariners last couple of games and they get all these runners in scoring position, I'm like, that's the Padres. They can't score.
I mean, again, I see the reason to do it. I could see the argument not to do it, but you have first and second, nobody out. You've got a pitcher on the ropes, and to bunt, you kind of let the pitcher off the ropes by giving him one of the outs in the inning. And the Mariners do not score in the second. So 1-1 heading to the bottom of the second inning in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series right now. Let's get to this.
All right, John. So we'll start here. We'll get to Crumble Cookie in a moment, but I wanted to start with Taco Bell. I have a bunch of news items because we haven't done the back page in a little bit since I was sick. Still kind of am sick.
Since you were sick.
Yeah. Taco Bell is turning up the heat this Halloween season with the launch of its brand new flaming hot grilled cheese burrito.
Okay.
Available nationwide for a limited time. The fiery new burrito takes Taco Bell's popular grilled cheese concept and gives a bold, spicy makeover. It's packed with seasoned beef, flaming hot Frito chips, nacho cheese sauce, creamy chipotle sauce, sour cream, and a melty 3-cheese blend, all wrapped inside a tortilla and grilled.
How does that sound to you?
Honestly, kind of good.
Doesn't it sound spicy?
I don't know. I like the normal grilled cheese burrito, so
it does sound spicy, but I like the crunchy aspect of it. I would probably take a bite and be like, nope, can't do it.
Why do we always have to reinvent everything?
Because that's what we do.
They do. Okay.
You always have to reinvent everything, John. Everything has to be reinvented all the time.
Okay.
Crumble Cookies of the Week. It's Stranger Things themed.
Why? Is it coming out?
Yes, it is, John.
Okay.
It's also Halloween themed as well. So it's like a dual. They're using, I don't know. The Dubai chocolate brownie is back.
Ooh.
It was a huge hit.
It
was a huge hit to the point where it went like viral. Like it was all on TikTok, like lines around the corner for this thing. Crumble Cookie employees they would make videos of them making it. It would go viral. A Tres Leches cake. Cookies and cream cookie. Cereal milk cookie. Interesting. Original M&M's cookie.
Okay.
Banana bread cookie.
Ooh. Pudding?
No, banana bread pudding.
Okay.
No, banana bread cookie, not bread pudding.
Yeah.
And then milk chocolate chip cookie.
That's kind of the basic, right? Milk chocolate chip.
They always have the chocolate chip.
Yeah.
But the Dubai chocolate brownie is back, and that was
didn't you say there were lines around like the block for that?
I literally just said that, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't you say it?
I just said it 2 seconds ago, yeah. Now I know how you feel. Am I that annoying sometimes?
Yes, you are so annoying, dude.
I am that annoyed. It's bad. Sorry about that. For Halloween, John, if you wear a costume to Chipotle.
Imagine doing that. Just walking in. On Halloween?
On October 31st, Chipotle Reward members can score a $6 entree after 3 p.m. local time when they visit any participating location in a Halloween costume. The deal applies to burritos, bowls, tacos, or salads.
Like, I'm just imagining walking in there with like my Mike Schilt jersey and like in uniform and cleats.
They wouldn't know who Mike Schilt is.
But I would probably, so I'm now with my $6 meal. It's all dressed up for my Chipotle meal.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Is that a deal? $6?
You have to become a rewards member. It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd do that.
How many people are going to do that?
Good amount.
Nationwide.
Probably a good amount.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A has officially brought back its fan favorite peppermint chip milkshake.
Okay.
For the 2025 holiday season. The festive shake, which has become a signature part of Chick-fil-A's winter lineup, is now available at participating locations nationwide for a limited time. The peppermint chip milkshake is made with Chick-fil-A's creamy ice cream dessert blended with crunchy peppermint bark chips, creating a perfect mix of sweetness and seasonal flavor. It was first introduced in 2008.
Have you had that before?
Nope, hate peppermint.
Yeah, I don't like peppermint at
But
all.
a lot of people do, John. A lot of people do.
Apparently. So bring it back.
So if you like the peppermint milkshakes, there you go.
Is that it for the back page?
That's it for the back page, John.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, this week we will get you ready for San Diego State football. They'll be in Fresno on Saturday at 12:30. Blackout at Fresno, by the way. And a huge game. Fresno State is 5-2. San Diego State is 5-1.
This is the biggest game for San Diego State since the Mountain West Conference Championship game back in 2021.
I think it's true. If you go to ESPN's FPI, like their, I don't know, ranking system, whatever it is, I mean, they give San Diego State a better chance to reach the playoff than Penn State, Clemson. I mean, there's so many programs. Like, again, is it overly? I mean, they have so much work to do. They're 5-1. You have to be the best team in the group of 5. But here they are at the halfway point. 1-4 straight, coming off a bye week. It's not going to be easy. I think their second half schedule is harder than their first half. Fresno on the road. Hawaii's been good on the road. Boise's coming here. But it's kind of crazy that in a half year, Sean Lewis has completely turned this program around in a half season.
Yeah, it's been incredible. There's no doubt about it. Sean Lewis is a guy that we had high hopes for leading into his first year.
Yeah.
Didn't pan out. And I remember just talking like, man, we want this guy to succeed because like there's something about him. Like there's that it factor there. And you just wanted to see it translate on the field. And it's translated in a big way. I talked about it last week. I needed to see what they did against Nevada to really like be a full believer in them or still have questions about them. You know, if they won at Nevada, that'd been great. But I kind of was looking to see how they would win at Nevada. And the fact that they just not only blew them out, but they played probably one of their better games, maybe their best game of the year.
It was 44-0 in the third quarter.
On the road.
Took all their starters out.
They were up 14-0 before the game was even on television.
Ball, yeah.
They had a punt return and a pick six. And then the offense going up and down the field, scoring at will. Jane Denical, he's looking really good, accurate. Like
they've allowed 73 points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In 6 games.
I know.
They've allowed 73. In fact, one game they allowed 36 points. The other 5, they've allowed 37.
2 shutouts, right?
2 shutouts. In the games in which they allowed some points here recently, Colorado State and Nevada were against backups.
Yeah. Game was already over.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I think this will be a very good game. Rivalry game. Fresno State's coming off a loss. This is not easy at all. It could go either way, but a huge opportunity for San Diego State Saturday at 12:30. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Of course, tomorrow, full reaction to Game 7 of the ALCS. NBA will get underway tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot going on tomorrow.
Pair of games. Your Warriors.
And your Lakers.
More your Warriors.
Yeah,
but some
not
people's
so much your
Lakers definitely. And then what's the other game? Thunder Rockets?
Thunder Rockets is the opener, and then Lakers Warriors is the second game.
Will you overreact if the Warriors lose?
Yeah. By the way, I didn't even talk about this today. Jimmy Butler. Shout out Jimmy Butler. He is now
partial owner of the Wave.
Yeah. So
but then your update.
My guy, Jimmy Buckets. Love it.
Lives in San Diego.
Perfect.
Wave fan. Now a minority owner of the San Diego Wave as well. All right. If you missed anything today, go to sportsSD.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. Back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Full reaction to Game 7 of the ALCS. The latest on the Padres managerial search as well. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.